Okay, where I think okay, I remember these two. I don't remember these three. Looks like a hmm. If we're gonna see a high blood finally. Besides the blues. Armed with your fresh heats of hard-won cultural knowledge, you continue on your journey. Troll life sure is complicated, not to mention troll romance. You really aren't interested in getting into all that. Your life is complicated enough, and adding an additional level of angst on top of that does not sound ideal. Friendship is about all you can handle right now. And boy, do you love to handle it. Just get your fingers all up in there and squish that shit around. Gross. L word. Oh, you don't have a last name. And cuprum and follicle. Hmm. Okay, now you're a yellow. All right. Huh. Mm. Whoops. Uh, no, it's this one. I keep getting them confused. You're ready to meet someone new, but you have no idea where to go. You're just kind of hoping you'll bump into someone. While you're thinking about it, you do. You bump into someone. The troll takes a step back to look at you, eyebrows lifted in surprise, while you sputter apologies. Then you notice the color of the symbol on her shirt, and your blood turns to ice. Given what you picked up about troll society, she'd probably be well within her rights to attack you, or at least treat you to some very hurtful insults. Well, hey there, lil buddy. You look kind of lost. Everything okay? Oh my god, L word. The L. Okay. Is she a L word? Huh, that was a lot friendlier than you expected. That said, the troll's look is intimidating. She's smiling at you, but the leather jacket and undercut makes you think you shouldn't fuck with her. They also look really dope, like maybe this is someone whose name would look really nice in your address book. Look, you've been pretty non-discriminating with your friend taste so far. You're grateful for every taste of affection thrown your way, but you can admit you barked up the friendship tree of some real weirdos. But this time, you really want to be friends with this girl. In fact, it feels like earning her approval might even raise your opinion of yourself or your social cash. She's just like seriously cool. You tell her you are a boss, not that you have anywhere to be. Just seeing where the night goes, huh? Been there. I could tell you some stories, oh man. I don't want to be rude, but you're an alien, right? You confirm. That's one of the few solid facts you know, and you're gonna hang on to that with both hands, while they're still your hands, and not your grab paws or your gesture appendages or whatever. Neat. You can call me L word, by the way. I bet you have all kinds of cool alien stories, haha. You wanna hang with me? I know a place near here to grab a drink if you want. Does she mean platonically, or is she asking you out? It's pretty hard to tell. She's so cool and disaffected. If that was a date suggestion, she's gonna be the smoothest motherfucker around. You're kind of hoping she just wanted to get to know you better. She's beautiful, but it seems like going on a date with her would be a lot of pressure. Mostly you just really want her to like you. She brushes a piece of lint off her jacket, and your desperation for her attention grows. You say yes. Aw yeah. Alien time. Let's go. Wait. Wait, oh come on, you can't even just go hang out with someone without some kind of whole rigmarole. Were you fated to always be bombarded with branching choices, choosing randomly between fates that are almost always seem to end in some kind of violence? There's actually two places we could go. You want to try the closer place or the farther place? Fine. Fine? You'll make another choice. Um, farther place? You tell her you're in no rush, and the farther place is fine. She takes off in the same direction she was walking before you bumped her. You follow behind, trying to act like you totally belong here, next to this genuine troll babe. You walk next to cool people all the time. It's practically a hobby. After a couple blocks, though, she stops short. You narrowly avoid bumping into her again. She fishes her palm husk out of her pocket, and you can see that it's vibrating noisily. She looks at the screen and theatrically rolls her eyes. Ah, this is so annoying. I'm sorry, but there's just this thing. I have to deal with it, I guess. I swear to fuck. She just wants an excuse to see me. It's transparently obvious. Like how she keeps flirting with all my friends, too. or just magically showing up places we used to go together. It's honestly kind of pathetic, like, you're trying so hard to make it seem like you're over me, that it just shows you aren't. Lamau. You know what I mean? You may not understand the specifics, but it's clear that she's including you in some kind of social situation she's dealing with. Wow, that's what you do when you're already friends with someone. You basically just skip to the front of the line. You're not and look sympathetic. You totally get it. Oh, whoops. You totally get it. You tell her you have an ex like that too. Here's she even trying to fool. Right? It's like embarrassing that we even dated. We were totally gonna request combat assignments on the same ship too. So dumb. Anyway, sorry, but I gotta go back to my hive. She just keeps bugging me about some shit she left there. I keep telling her I don't even think it's there. Oh, she says she has all her belongings itemized or something. SMH. Such a dork. And like, the best thing that ever happened to her. You keep nodding vigorously. Your neck is starting to hurt from all the nodding. You tell Elward that she's obviously too good for whoever this girl is. I mean, I know, but I gotta deal with her shit anyway. Anyway, sorry, it's literally so dumb, but you mind if we just swing by my hive on our way out? It won't take long. She's like terminally punctual. Now she already sent me her ETA on Google Maps. This is a real softball. No need to agonize over this decision. You tell her that you don't mind at all. She starts to head off, but then stops and looks at you. Her brow furrows. Huh. You know, for an extra alternial, you're kinda cute. Oh, geez, you start to feel flustered as she peers at you more closely, phrasing it to make it clear once again that you're only interested in friendship. Love those being called. I'm getting an idea. My ex thinks she's so cool because she's a Jade Blood and they have, like, a sacred duty or whatever. She makes a complicated motion with her hand. From the context, you gather that this is a troll version of a jerking off gesture. You file away the implications of that one to consider at a later time. Oh, she's probably never met an alien before. Definitely never dated one. Do you think we could pretend to be a thing? Like Red Rom? Just until she goes away. She'll fully shit herself, I swear. Just, don't fall in love with me, kid. Just kidding. Really, don't though. Your heart is beating at an unusual rate, and not even because of fear this time. Fake dating again? Do trolls do this a lot? There must be some cultural context that makes them turn to a fake relationship for security. Yes. On the one hand, you're an experienced fake dater by now. Elward could check your references. On the other hand, you know how this ends. You know this ends with you falling in love with her. There's literally no fake dating situation that has never ended differently. The last fake relationship you did agonizingly circled the rim of romance before falling out into your hands for a sick friendship rebound, but it was a close one. You might be like a quarter of the way in love with her already. She looks like troll Natalie Dormer. It's definitely way too dangerous to say yes to this. Fake date. You say that could be cool. You say it super casually, like you pretend to be in relationships with aliens every day of your life. Elward grins, clearly pleased. You're sure this was the right choice. Then again, you've thought that before, only to end up in terrifying, painful situations. But you're pretty confident this time it'll be fine. That's great. Thanks for doing me a solid. I'll owe you one. She shoots you a finger gun and winks. Tattoo? No, it's not them. In what is now a deeply familiar story beat, Elward takes you back to her hive. It's pretty messy. You can understand why her ex would have a hard time finding something she left here. You don't see any signs of a leucis, but it's probably rude to ask about that with how often trolls and other animals are murdered in this society. You ask Elward if you should get your story straight, like how did you meet? How long have you been dating? Who is the funny one? And who always has to choose the food on date night? Yeah, I got a 3,000 word backstory for us to memorize. I'll be quizzing you on my fave movies. JK, haha. I'm not worried, lol. We can just wing it. Oh, I think she's here anyway. Sure enough, you hear a crisp knock on the door. Elward leans against the nearest wall and crosses her arms over her chest, looking bored. Come on in, girl. Oh my god, it's her. Another troll enters the hive. Hey, wait a second, you know this one. This troll is already your friend. That might be a good thing, but it might also ruin your chances with the friend you're currently chasing. But maintaining your existing friendships is important too. You're gonna have to find a way to balance this. She doesn't seem to have noticed you yet. Hello, Elward. We can make this the last time we have to see each other. If you would just hand over my favorite sweater. I don't have it. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you. It's very simple. 1, I was wearing it over here when we broke up. 2, I keep careful track of all my belongings. 3, you think it's funny to antagonize me. All signs point to you having it. I don't want to fight again. Isn't it nicer if we collaborate? Who's fighting? I don't even remember what your sweater looks like. I don't really think about it, or you, at all, ever. Emotional dishonesty is a barrier to helpful communication. I'm not one of your little jades who have to listen to this crap. Okay, whatever, I'm not gonna get dragged back into this. You're interrupting my date, Bronia. More like boring, yeah. Lamau. I'm actually trying to hang out with someone who's not you right now. A real cutie. Oh man, oh no. Elford makes a lazy gesture at you, just to indicate that pointing you out to Bronia is barely holding her interest. You look at Bronia and try to smile. You lift your hand in a tentative way. Hi, you say? Bronia is taken aback. She looks back and forth between you and Elward a couple times, trying to make sense of the situation. You and Elward? Well, this is a surprise. I didn't know you were looking for a romantic connection. I could have introduced you to some of my other Jays. Not that I mind that you're with Elward. I wish only the best for her in all that she does. Elward rolls her eyes theatrically, then she looks back at you. Did you know each other? She doesn't look happy about it. You remember that the reason she wanted to fake date with you in the first place was to hold your cool alien status over her ex's head. Bronia, already knowing you, has undoubtedly taken some of the wind out of her sails. You have to do something to turn this around. You don't want to be rude to Bronia, but surely just hyping Elward is safe. You tell Bronia thanks for the offer, but you're happy with the choices you've made. She looks a little hurt, but quickly rebounds. Of course, I wouldn't tell you how to conduct your personal life. I'm really just here for my sweater. Could you get it, please, Elward? Nah, well, you just lost it. Stop making excuses to come over here. This is getting pretty personal. You try to make yourself as unobtrusive as possible, pulling the colors of your, well, Degora's robe up to hide your face. Someone might accuse you of manufacturing reasons for me to keep coming over by not giving it back. Lol. Okay, whatever. I'll just let you know if it turns up, alright? Not alright. 1, you've said that before and you've never followed through. 2, you've never contacted me first. 3, you're obviously not motivated to find it. I want to settle this once and for all. It's time to resolve our conflict. Jeez. I didn't steal your fucking sweater. Look, I wanted to resolve this too. But now just isn't a good time. Can't you just let me have some time with my new pal here? Does seem like a reasonable request. This may take longer than I would have liked. I suppose I could leave it alone for now, but you can't just keep avoiding me forever. Not just about the sweater. I'm not doing that. Didn't you get through enough of your talking about our feelings when we were actually together? Why do we have to talk about them now? Let's talk about it later then. I'd rather leave my friend here out of it anyway. Her friend? Wow, you breathe a sigh of relief. You don't have so many friends that you can stand to lose one. You can now listen to the rest of the conversation with a touch more ease. I'll come back when you're more available. Please try to work with me on this. Thank you. Bronia makes her way out. Elward watches her leave and then sags back against the wall, scowling. She seems to be in much lower spirits than she was earlier. Her heart aches. Friend or no, you want to see her cheer up again. You know what? She takes a deep breath and looks over at you. I do have her sweater in the back of my closet. She starts laughing. You giggle a little too. What just happened here is an opening. You witnessed something revealing, and now Elward is in a vulnerable position. You don't want to push her or annoy her, but she did loop you into this, and you can't waste this opportunity. It might be worth it to take a risk. You say hesitantly that it seems like Bronia was really desperate, like she's totally not over it. I know, right? I told you. You say that also it's okay to not be over it 100% yet, that even if a relationship was wrong and you're way better off without it, sometimes you can still feel a little sad, and it's fine. In fact, you say it can make you seem emotionally deep in an extremely cool way. You give her a little smile. She smiles back. Haha, thanks for saying that. You're really nice. You didn't have to do all that for me. Sorry for bringing the end of this mess. You still want to get that drink? You're a good friend. Your heart overflows and you beam a brilliant smile at her. You feel the warm bloom of friendship opening its sweet petals in your heart. Friendship achieved. Oh, that was pretty quick, huh? Very cute, though. I didn't know that they'd be, like, I do really like that they're including trolls from previous segments in the other ones, so it'll be like, I hope I don't have to see him again. Or if I do, I hope he has some, character development. I hope I get to see everyone else, though. Everyone else except, if he gets better, maybe. So I gotta take a sip of my iced tea. Mm. Ugh, throat is tired already. Let's check out Cuprum and Follicle. Wandering deeper into the city, you wash up on the shore. Oh, fuck. You wash up on the shores of what looks like a rougher part of town. Comparatively, everything about Alternia is rough, but down here the streets get narrower, dingier, the buildings are run down. Streetlights flicker and the patrolling drones look less inclined to serve and protect and more likely to shoot you and claim it was self-defense. You haven't seen any tracks, but if you had, this place would definitely be on the wrong side of them. Again, and emphatically, you don't know what you're talking about. Everything you know has been gleaned from exceedingly painful trial by fire. This looks like the sort of place no one cares about except the people who live here. A noisy group of trolls spills onto the street up ahead, and you quickly duck behind a row of garbage cans. You've recently become gun-shy around groups, especially since most of these guys look fancy and are wearing symbols in varying shades of blue. Not to generalize, but blue bloods are starting to freak you out. Everybody here messes with you, but the higher castes do it with a government sanction. These particular blue bloods all look as lost as you did several friends ago, gazing around in varying flavors of bemusement and frustration. They glance nervously between each other and the looming buildings on either side. Ha 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 ha. Oh, lo, 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 lo. With a hot joint of adrenaline, you realize you aren't the only person hiding in the pile of garbage. There's someone else. Two someones, actually. With what you initially take as one large lumpy troll resolves into second glance to two smaller trolls, a girl and a boy. The girl is clinging to the boy's back like a very greasy sloth. It looks like a pretty precarious position in your opinion. You've recently become an expert in falling down. They're both skinny and stringy, and damn, you thought that smell was from the garbage, but it might be them. Oh, Blue's just busy living their pathetic lives. Walking out of their hives, straight into our trap. Idiots never see it coming. You ask what they mean the trolls out on the street. Probably you should just mind your own business, but when the fuck have you ever done that before? Also, it's nice to see someone besides you getting mocked for once. You kinda want to join in on the mocking. Who the fuck are you? Where did you come from? A trash creature? Born out of trash? Well, so much for not getting mocked. These two are probably equal opportunity mockers, though. They mock everyone, kind of like Polypa had been with Murder. And they keep sniggering. You can't help but think you were being called out. Stand up for yourself? You put it to them, offhandedly, that perhaps it is they who are the trash creatures, since they are the ones who smell like they've been rolling in it for the past few days. For some reason, that makes them laugh even harder. Cuprum, check out the badass we got here. The feeling when freaky Coldbait Nerdlord talks back. Why don't you run and cry about it? Yeah, go and tell your Lucis Thomas. The girl tugs at the boy's hair, and then they're off, tackling and running up the street with a weird, stumbling gait. They leave you all on your lonesome. Fresh friendship opportunities withering on the vine. You probably dodged a bullet, but you can't prevent the oncoming. Ah. Okay, so maybe I should accept the insults? I thought they were going to be like, oh ho ho, we gotta, we'd trade insults. You never thought about what a weirdly sexual idiom that is. Regardless, you decide to swallow your protest. Hey, that's a pretty sexual also. Thanks, English language. You don't want to start out a new friendship with hostility. If you'd had parents, they would have told you that two wrongs don't make a right. You could argue that it isn't worth trying to befriend people who are open with insults, but that's just how people are here. You gotta roll with it or get out of town, and since you literally can't go anywhere, you'll just roll. You really want more friends. Addiction is a powerful thing. You admit that you don't have a lupus and that you are pretty used to insults these days. You include an affected shrug to demonstrate just how easily everything rolls off your back. You add in a contrite little kick of the pavement and hang your head, even if you aren't quite sure what you did wrong. Rusty dunks on their own damn self. Don't have to do shit. This could be kind of relaxing for us. The girl turns her weird spidery face toward you. You should come hang out. Wait. What? You want to hang out with this bottom feeder? It looks like a huge drag. I already have enough dead weight with your ass to drag around. Oh man, you really hit the jackpot with these guys. 2 friends for the price of 1. To answer your earlier question that you may have forgotten you asked, Cuprum hacked their Palm Husk GPS to bring them down here. Idiots can't do shit without their fancy tech. The Blue Bloods are all arguing now. If somebody throws a punch, you figure it's a good prank. It's a little mean-spirited. Follicle stopped yanking at Cuprum's hair and looks at you. Wow, you really are pretty basic. Hey, Cuprum. She gives his hair another yank like it's reins and he's her horse. Cuprum grins, showing a bunch of big, blunt teeth. He raises a hand that crackles with white-hot energy. Your stomach clenches and your feet leave the pavement just enough of your toes to drag along the ground as you float over to them. For a few seconds, you have zero control over your body. Cuprum lets you go when you land hard enough on your heels to make your ankles twinge. One of the flickering streetlights shines down on Follicle's face. What you had initially taken as deep-set eyes are actually no eyes. They are black holes in her face. It looks super creepy and also super painful. Yeah, so what? You think I would just have eyes like some kind of normie? You would never accuse her of that. That isn't really a word you have in your lexicon. Hell, lol. He keeps doing that, saying the word instead of laughing. It's actually a hell of a power play. Goddamn idiot doesn't know a case of void rot when they see it. Have you never met a gold blood before? You have, but you weren't sure if Zeraba counts. They're an internet celebrity, for one thing. For another, they have eyes. Well, one eye. And the other one wasn't lost to void rot, whatever the hell that is. You wonder if that's why she's on top of Cuprum. He's some kind of combination steed and seeing eye dog. Void rot means my body doesn't retain energy like it's supposed to. Just look it up on Gorgle. It means I'm dying constantly, all the time. You almost point out that technically everyone is dying all the time, but you sense this isn't the moment for fake deep fuckery. That really sounds like it blows, though. You tell her how sorry you are. What do you mean? Why would you be sorry? You didn't do anything. Besides, stand there, looking ugly. An idiot thinks it makes a difference. Well, like what they think actually matters. Oh. Can't wait for Trizza to take this one down to the coal fields for a little R&R. Rest and relaxation? That sounds nice, actually. Rampage rending. Ah. Wow, and here was me thinking we could get through a whole conversation without bringing up precious Trizza. Oh, well, Trizza rules. I love Trizza. I know, dipshit. You rack your recent memories, trying to figure out if you know what a Trizza is or who. Trizza is basically the third member of this relationship, considering how goddamn horny you are to get her cybernetic tentacles up in you. Wow. What? Is that supposed to make me feel bad? Sounds great, actually. You watch too much Eastern Alternian pornography. And it'll be way better than sitting around with you, always sucking me dry. This sure is something you're witnessing right here. It must be that Black Rom stuff Zebra had briefly filled you in on. You cock a hip and compliment them on the obviously incredibly healthy pitch romance they got going on there. Because as everyone knows, there's nothing like two people in a lover's spat like more than someone interrupting them to spout random bits of cultural knowledge. That separates them, metaphorically at least. Physically, Follicle stays clinging to Cupram's back. Wrong again, fuckbulge. We're pale. So pale. Oh, pale, that's the nice one, the petting one, where you talk about your feelings and then don't have sex. What? You got something to say? You guys really don't seem to have your shit together. You guys seem like you have a wonderful, stable relationship. I'm gonna insult them. You mentioned just offhandedly, chill as hell, that maybe they might have a few things they need to work on. No pressure or anything. This is the sort of stuff a helpful friend does. Mention shortcomings and crappy relationship dynamics. Having friends is great. The light glitters on Cupram's goggles, even as it is sucked into the black hole of Follicle's not eyes. You calling me out? You coming into my hive and spouting this shit? You point out this is a trash heap, although you don't want to judge. He might have a trash hive. It's a figure of speech. Kind of like, go fuck yourself. Both of them look pissed, but Cupram looks extra pissed. I know what this is. You're out to steal my girl. You really think you can give her what she needs, what she craves. He's making it sound like a fetish rather than a medical condition. Maybe it's both. You really want to come at me, motherfucker? The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. That's how loud he yells. Or maybe it's the crackles of energy slowly emanating from his pores and building like a sine wave. At first you think it's just you until finally cracking under all the pressure, but it's really happening. The glow of white-hot electricity rolls up his arms and shoulders and into Follicle, where it travels over the length of her body and enters where her eyes should be. She shivers and lets out a short, slightly lewd sound. Her hands tighten in Cupram's wild hair. Man, you really shouldn't be watching this. You're watching something fierce. But okay, you think you get what's going on? That kind of symbiosis. His energy overflows when he gets upset, and Follicle sucks up that energy to treat her void rod. He is her giant battery. He remembers Silava mentioning that powerful Volbloods have a tendency to get harvested for their energy. Maybe Cupram is one of those powerful psychics. Ha, he wishes. Triz is gonna screw him up, chew him up, and spit him out. Then I'm really gonna have to find another sucker to leech off. Follicle is looking at you, considering, well, you aren't actually sure if she can see you. Definitely not with her eyes, and she doesn't have those. Maybe she's like a cricket. Don't they heal with their legs or some bullshit like that? What? This guy? Please. Sure, why not? I'm getting sick of your shit anyway. Oh god, are they breaking up right in front of you? Follicle crawls off of Cupram's back and starts across the filthy alley floor towards you, scuttily and bug-like. And now instead of yelling, Cupram is sniggering. Actual laughter, not lulls. That's a good sign, right? It's great when friends can laugh together, especially when shit gets awkward. You think you can power me the way I need? Whoa, she's right in your face. She really needs a shower, but you don't have the room to talk. It's been a long time since Tagora's evolution trap. Besides, judging someone based on their personal hygiene is shallow, right? It's what's on the inside that counts. Yeah, you're sure that's the sort of thing that makes you deep. Seriously, you have so much love to give. Friend love is what you're all about. Maybe this is what all that desperation has been leading up to. The slow raising of your friendship level in order to reach this peak of unbelievable bro power. To free this young Goldblood from a codependent relationship, you've been conditioning your body, putting it through its paces, building up a tolerance to bullshit and just bathing in metaphorical resonance. Follicle kisses you. Wow, that is friendly. Lots of people kiss their friends, you're pretty sure. Maybe? Yeah, you are super progressive. This is fine. You sort of wish that the first alien tongue you've had in your mouth didn't taste like Cheetos, but you can't have everything in this life. But holy shit, you're doing it! You feel a rush of energy flow into you, lighting up your body and whole body and pouring into Follicle, filling her into the brim with the power she needs. The power she craves. God, you're the best friend ever. It's you. You rock. You seriously. Oh, lol. Lol. The best. Oh, son of a bitch. You feel something worn on the back of your neck, and Cupram is giggling right next to your ear. Somehow, while you were busy kissing his girlfriend, he snuck up from behind and started kissing you, too. Well, more just putting his mouth on you and moving his tongue around. He must be feeding psychic energy into you, which Follicle is sucking out of your mouth. They're using you like a goddamn copper wire. Well, this is horrifying. You could maybe be into it if you weren't behind a dumpster, and if you weren't looking for anything more than some good old-fashioned wholesome friending. Cupram, fuck off, don't help. You aren't involved in this. Cupram is still laughing, and he's added the lulls back in, which you like even less when they're pressed against your neck. He steps back and the flood of energy lets up. You go from feeling like a light bulb to feeling like a steadily deflating balloon. Follicle kisses you again. It still tastes like Cheetos, but also like dying. Like your entire body has been placed in a juicer and a giant is squeezing down. Your muscles twitch and drool just out of the corner of your mouth. Follicle must be the only thing holding you up, because when she steps back you slump to your knees and then down onto your side. Your fall is broken by some old rotten fruit. Cool. Follicle stands silhouetted against the streetlight in all her greasy glory. Thanks, Normie, that'll hold me for maybe like the next 15 minutes. A fog closes in on you as you lie on that filthy pavement. Is it the fog of death or just impending unconsciousness? You don't know. One thing is for sure, though. It is not the fog of impending friendship. Oh no! Oh god. Well then. Let's try some things differently. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They seem fine. Right. Glad you understand. You don't feel great about this. It's not cool to tell lies, especially not to your new friends, but it's also not cool to neg your rad new friend's relationship, especially when you don't know how the fuck any of this stuff works. Honestly, you should probably come up with some sort of mnemonic for it, just how little you know about anything at all. You don't know what that means. Why BKWTM? Yeah, you'll workshop it. Well, you actually seem okay. Obviously a huge normie freak, but okay. You wonder what kind of people Cuprum has been hanging out with if he thinks you look normal. At this point, you're, what, dressed in a bathrobe, sunburned, slathered in sparkly lotion, and probably a bunch of other stuff you can't remember right now. His friends must look really wild. You hope whoever those friends are will be your friends too. You aren't picky about looks. The group of blue buds out on the street, maybe they could use some friends too? You're getting the vapors just the thought of all these potential connections. You start around the dumpster to find out. Cuprum grabs the back of your shirt. Where do you think you're going? Idiot tries to make decisions for themselves. Their decisions are bad. Nobody is fucking surprised. You point out very respectfully that all of these people are pretty lost and confused. You assume the prank is over now. Everyone can shake hands and go on as friends. This is idiotic, considering what you have learned about Alternia up until now. And not a prank. This is war. It's not over until all of them are dead or crying. Well, okay, as long as you aren't the one dead or crying. None of the high bloods look too close to doing it either, though. They're standing in a clump in the center of the street, nervous but fine. This is just a minor inconvenience, like a flat tire or a spilled cup of coffee. They've been lured out into the slums by some greasy nerds, but Follicle and Cuprum don't seem to be planning on doing anything besides watching and giggling. One of the blue bloods, a smallish girl with a cerulean symbol on her hair clips, is standing a little apart from the group, furiously texting. That feeling majority blue blood girl starts losing her cool. Should've known one of them would crack. You weren't sure what's going on. WASWG. YASWG. Still not great. Weird players calling the damn drones. Usually high bloods wouldn't go running to them like that. Don't want to admit low bloods got one over on them. Hell, when you get owned, fucking own it. That could go on a t-shirt. Follicle and Cuprum seem bummed that their prank is going to end so fast and with so little damage done. Isn't that the point of a prank, that everyone gets out of it relatively unscathed? Anything more and it becomes an assault. Overhead, there's a whir and a clank, loud but not enough to prepare you for the damn flying bus coming in for a landing out on the street. Holy shit. You don't think you've ever been so excited about public transportation. You're confident that continuing your ramble across this alien world is the best thing for you, but gosh, it would be nice to rest your feet for a little while. Even better, none of the trolls getting on the bus seem to have any money or travel passes. Perfect, you don't have any of those things either. You start around the trash pile again, and this time 2 pairs of hands grab onto the back of your shirt. Dude, where the hell are you going? You quickly explain that you want to catch the bus before it takes off again. You have no idea how long it will be before another one arrives. Follicle and Cuprum look at you like you're crazy. While Cuprum looks at you and Follicle kind of looks off over your shoulder. Can you call it looking if someone doesn't have eyes? Listen, I know we make jokes about the intelligence of everybody around us. It is just our thing. But you are actually mentally handicapped. You can't just get on a chartered scuttle buggy. That's for cerulean and up, maybe teal, if they got a death wish. This damn hemo spectrum thing again, you really need someone to sit you down and explain exactly how all of this works, preferably without calling you an idiot the whole damn time, or hitting you. It just seems so arbitrary. At least the oppressive power structures from your planet make sense. Well, no, they don't actually, but you're used to them, which makes them much better and more acceptable. You hang back as all the Blue Bloods get on the bus. It occurs to you that even though it was their prank that lured the Blue Bloods down here, Follicle and Cuprum had to watch it all unfold from behind a dumpster. They don't dare do anything head on. Not that you support just randomly attacking people in the street, but it is kind of fucked up that only a certain kind of violence is acceptable, aimed in a very specific direction. Judging from how easily Cuprum picked you up with his brain, he could hold his own in a fight, no problem. The bus takes off, blasting a backdraft that rattles the empty cans and crumpled bits of garbage in the gutter. Stillness descends on the alley. Wow, that was anticlimactic. Cuprum said they were calling the drones, but a bus came instead. Maybe calling the drones can mean a whole bunch of things, like calling 911 can be to report a robbery, assault, or someone's leg falling off. Or that's what you think until you hear the distant but quickly closing pound of giant footsteps. Ah, fuck. Time to go. Volgal wraps her arms more securely around Cuprum and he takes off, like literally takes off. At first you think he's wearing those shoes with the little wheels on the bottom, and the kind kids wear to crash into stuff at the mall. But no, he's hovering a half-inch off the ground. You have to run to keep up with him, and your steps are distressingly loud on the pavement. A familiar weightlessness shoots through your limbs, settling in your guts. Energy crackles around you, picking you up off the ground and pulling you along behind them. He has enough power to float both of you at once, all the while carrying his girlfriend on his back. You don't know much about psychics, quite the KMAP, but that is pretty impressive. The three of you round a corner and you forget all about being impressed because you're too busy freaking the fuck out. You were so busy worrying about the drone coming from behind you that you did not consider the possibility of one closing in from the front. This one is smallish, but still a lot bigger than you, and a lot spinier, and a lot more endowed with dangerous lasers, and it's focused on the three of you instead of someone else. You, Follicle, and Cooper make a similar noise. It goes a little bit like, ah, the smash at the end comes from Cooper picking all three of you up with his brain and tossing you just as the drone shoots a laser out of his torso. It blasts into the pavement where you've been standing into a craggy, smoking junks. You tumble feet over ass into the alley wall. A concerning pain twinges through your healing ribs. You're just so used to injuries at this point you barely wince. What's more concerning is Follicle. The blast rips her off Cooper and sends her in the opposite direction, against the alley wall with you. She immediately curls into a ball, like a pill bug with a lot of hair. She doesn't respond when you ask her if she's okay, and you aren't sure if you should touch her. You shouldn't move injured people, right? Especially not injured people with void rot. I'm fine. I'll live. Oh, fuck. The drone had a 50-50 chance of coming in your direction instead of Cupram's, and surprise, it did! It moves altogether way too fast for something that size. Aren't big things supposed to be slow? That's what video games taught you. Video games wouldn't lie, would they? Ah, fuck, shit, hell. You come all this way, dodged so many dangers, and made so many friends, and now you're just gonna get lasered by some huge, spiky robot monster thing. Are they even robots? They kind of look organic, but so do, like, the couches here, but you digress, it's going to kill you. But instead of dealing you a quick, fatal blow, the drone stops in the center of the street. Its big, ugly head swivels toward Follicle. Oh god. Is it possible you found someone more gullible than you are? Alternia definitely doesn't seem like a great place to be the weakest link. As usual, you are next to useless. All you can do is watch as the drone takes heavy steps toward her. Desperate, you take a nearby trash can. You shout and make as much noise as you can, trying to draw its attention. Once you have it, you aren't sure what you're going to do with it, but you aren't worried about that right now. The drone grinds to an uncertain halt. Its head slowly turns toward you. Then back to Follicle. It can't make up its mind. Should it go for void rot or the noisy asshole? You look around for weapons while it's frozen in indecision. There's nothing here but empty bottles and tiny pieces of concrete. You really are a worthless wreck. Your new friend is about to get stomped or blasted or kicked with a giant metal leg, and all you can do is hop around like a maniac and smash a trash can. Fuck. Luckily, for once, you aren't the only one here. Your new friend already has a friend. You're really friend crashing here. Cooper doesn't screw around. He rises up on a wave of crackling power, attacking the drone by, well, basically just putting his hand on his big ugly head and discharging as much energy as possible, trying whatever brainstem the thing has. You try to be at least a little bit useful and drag Follicle out of the way of the drone as it falls, but it doesn't fall, it just shuts down. The evil red glow of its eyes dies and it goes still. It becomes just a giant ugly statue of an alien robot in the middle of a filthy street. Cooper drops like a rock, and before he's even out of the air, he's on his way to Follicle. He shoves you out of the way. Fool, are you okay? Please say you're okay. What the fuck, fool? Follicle buries her face in Cooper's chest, her two little fists clinging tightly to his arms. Her shoulders rise and fall. She's taking huge breaths like she can't get her lungs to work right. Do trolls even have lungs? They probably call them something weird, respiratory sacs, breath glands, suck sphincters. I'm fine, idiot. You had a snide comment all ready to go concerning appreciating your loved ones while you can before a big metal monster comes and squishes them. But sitting here watching Pepperm hold Follicle like he never wants to let her go, well, all of your snideness drains into a puddle at your feet. You don't know them. You don't know their life. The relationship might not be the healthiest, but honestly, whose is? You've seen some really bad shit, both here and back home. Hey, you okay, dork? Yeah, you really are, thanks to them. Oh, that's really sweet. I really like those characters. I hope we get to see them again. Guess until or if I possibly see them again, I gotta go to the next one. I might eat another dumpling one. Ever since you were a kid back on Earth, you have always held the deep, close wish to one day travel the world. You wanted to see new places, experience exciting new tastes and altitudes and temperatures, maybe go scuba diving. You never imagined you would actually get the chance. That kind of cool stuff didn't happen to someone like you. Well, you're finally getting your wish. It's just a totally different world. Funny how life turns out. When you get back to Earth, well, you don't want to think about that. Who knows if it will ever even happen. You have really chilled out recently, found your place in the universe, drifting from friend to friend, adventure to adventure. It's the only way to live. We have Ramele Namak. Is it Ramil or Ramele? I'm not sure. Ramil Namak and Konil Okima. Huh. They both look awesome. I'm just going to keep going right to left as usual. Wait, left to right. I know my directions. You wandered into a part of town that seems to have some culture going on. There are a lot of bright neon lights, and you can't read what the signs say, but you can see arcades, a performance space, and what looks like a movie theater, perhaps a more indie-oriented compared to the mall cinemas you've seen before. As you continue wandering, you come across a trendy-looking building with a placard outside that shows a little cartoon doodle of a fancy waiter holding out trays of snacks. You can't read what the words say, but you recognize the intergalactic signal for free food inside. Come on in. You head inside and it appears to be an art gallery. It must be opening night because there are festive decorations up and a little table offering drinks and hors d'oeuvres. Oh damn, there's a purple there. It's a fancy situation. There are many other art appreciators here, and your adrenaline spikes when you realize that most of the trolls milling around are purple bloods. You're not sure if some paintings and snacks are worth the high chances of being maimed when chaotic violence breaks out, but as you're debating the merits of free food versus probable injury, someone approaches you. You don't look like my other patrons. Are you lost? Or are you perhaps looking to start collecting? If you're loaded, ignore that first question. Art is for everyone, after all, regardless of your blood color. The four black pupils in her eye glint and sparkle, and you're not sure yet if it's a menacing or friendly sparkle. She grins at you, and it shows all her teeth. So, what do you think of the art? Have any paintings caught your eye? You look around. You don't know much about art, but you sure are a nerd, and a lot of the paintings in here remind you of scenes from popular movies and games back home. The artwork is stunning, perhaps the best I've ever seen. Troll Mona Lisa, who seems kind of derivative. Let's compliment the art? Haha, stop, you flatterer. She puts her hand on her hip and winks at you, and you're guessing here that she doesn't actually want you to stop. You're also making the connection that she must be the artist who painted all of these. You sense an opportunity for friendship, so you lay it on thick and gush about how talented she is. Huh, I thought you looked like a dumbass when you walked in, but you have good taste after all. Let me show you around. You follow Ramiel through the gallery, swinging by the table with the free food first. It's pretty good by standards you come to expect on Alternia, but what you thought was wine at first glance is actually Faygo. No thanks. You may have noticed some themes in my exhibited work. I love clowns or gore as much as it may seem. That's just what I have for sale here. If you look at my work online, you'll see more of the full range of my art. But for this fancy gallery shed, Purple Bloods are some of my best customers. Those clowns fucking love art. They're rich as fuck, and they'll buy anything as long as it's violent enough for features religious themes. Wait, maybe I should be putting on like a French voice for her. How the hell do I do a French voice? You've seen the kind of that's not even right, but whatever. The kind of destruction and mayhem that Purple Bloods are capable of. So you're surprised that she's not talking, fuck. So you're surprised that she doesn't seem to mind being in a crowded gallery with so many of them. Most other trolls you've interacted with have done their best to steer clear of the clown murder cult guys, at least when one of those hate-romance relationships isn't on the table. Isn't it kind of dangerous to actively court them for her audience? Oh, sure, they can be unpredictable, and keeping them happy requires some schmoozing. Occasionally, I think I'm actually doing Swedish, but whatever. Occasionally, I have to pretend like I've drunk the Faygo and pull some religious references out of my ass. But it's nothing I can't handle. You can make a lot more money as an artiste if you're not choosy about what you draw. One of my customers is this blue-blood moron who only ever commissions me to draw low-bloods in quadrants with other low-bloods. I've got him convinced that I'm giving him a deal on his rate when he's actually paying 5 times what I charged anyone else. My point is, artistic integrity is for chumps. If you want to get ahead in this world, give the people what they want first. Oh, I like her. That strikes you as a depressing outlook on the creative process, but you're aware by now that idealism on Alternia tends to lead to shorter lifespans. And you have to admit, looking around at the crowd in this gallery, that her cynical approach seems to be working. You tell her that she sounds pretty business savvy in addition to talented, and she winks at you again. Thanks, I know. Because I make bank doing shit like this, I'm able to fund my Patreon projects. You should really check out my webcomic. But before you can find out what her webcomic is about, she notices another troll that has been sidling up to you. As she approaches, she whips out what looks like a small recording device with a smile. Ramiel's face goes carefully blank and she crosses her arm over her chest. And how can I help you? Journo. I haven't met Journo yet, but I think I'm going to meet them soon. Ah, yes, hello there, Miss Namak. I am with Alternia Nightly, and I must say, it looks like your first ever gallery exhibit has been a smashing success so far. The journalist's syrupy tone and innocuous words don't seem threatening to you, but you're picking up on some scent spies from Ramiel, whose hair ribbon swings forward in front of her face aggressively. Of course it's a success. I never expected otherwise. Maybe not, but some in the art world have expressed surprise at the timing of this. Some have called it bold, considering that you're currently in the middle of a plagiarism controversy. Would you care to comment on the case against you by Trident Media? Instead of being caught off guard by the question sprung on her, Ramiel relaxes and laughs. Oh, that. As if they have any kind of real evidence that I'm violating their precious intellectual property. All the characters I draw and profit from are entirely original, and Trident Media, with their legislator, are just mad about it because this whole internet knows that my storylines are better than the source material. Better than the unrelated creative works that my comics happen to bear a superficial resemblance to. Feel free to quote me on that. The reporter takes a note and scuttles away. Ramiel seems unbothered, but you can't help but feel concerned for her. Copyright infringement is serious business. Is your new friend in legal hot water? Nah, Alternia barely has copyright protections to speak of. It's just that my little pest Gorjak trying to stir up shit as usual. The company behind his lawsuit wouldn't even care if he hadn't gotten involved. It's no big deal, nothing I can't handle. You go back to following her around the gallery, keeping your distance whenever a Purple Blood comes up to compliment her on her work. You can tell that despite her confident attitude, Ramiel is still thinking about that journalist. She taps her foot and frowns at the paintings whenever there's a lull in conversation, throwing glances at the door that the journalist left through. You know, it's not like Alternia has a free press or credible newspapers. That reporter was probably hired by someone with a grudge to dig up dirt on me. I don't think it was Gorchak, actually. It's too obvious. Amateurish. No, this stinks of my competition. The artistic establishment that thinks all I do is fan art and shouldn't be taken seriously as an artiste. All of their paintings are in the museum across the street, and they hate that I have managed to put up my own exhibit. Those stuck-up, pretentious bulge scrubs have been trying to sabotage me for so long. She turns to you, her hands balled up into fists, and the X in her eye flashing with passion. I've been waiting for the opportunity to strike back at them. If anyone, everyone is gonna accuse me of being a thief and a hack anyway, I might as well steal from them for real. But their security is tight, and I haven't had an accomplice until now. What do you say? Wanna help me pull off a risky art heist? Ah, yes, the classic joke. Yes, fuck yes, I'm gonna yes, go for it. Ramil does one last round in her exhibit, saying goodbye to her patrons and grabbing her bag, which seems to be mostly art supplies, as you head out the door and into the street. The museum that she wants to rob is at the end of the block in a much bigger, fancier building than the one you just walked out of. All the lights are off inside, and it doesn't have any signs advertising current exhibits. We can do this one of two ways. Follow that journalist and steal the keys if she has them, or break in without them. Should we try to steal the keys? You would much rather walk through an unlocked door than try to bust it down, and the reporter is still in sight, turning a corner down the street. You try to imitate Ramil's casual yet confident way of walking, like she could blend in anywhere and pull off anything. But despite your efforts to not attract suspicion, you keep getting looks. Not being the same species as everyone around you tends to make you stand out. Ah, shit, this could be a problem. I can put together a disguise for you. Hang on. You watch as she starts pulling things from her bag. She seems to have all sorts of things in there, from paintbrushes to blobs of clay to paint, and you think she might be putting together some fake horns for me from scratch real quick? But before she can finish, you realize that one of the Purple Bloods about to walk into Ramil's gallery is staring at you. He looks vaguely familiar, and you realize a little too late where you met before when he starts walking towards you. I remember you. You broke into my apartment. It's the same troll that you and Polaba escaped from. Wait. Oh, it must have been a different path that I didn't take. Oh, should I be taking every single path just to see what happens? Whoops. You back away as he advances, a lazy grin on his face. Ramil glances from him to you and back to him again. Well, fuck. Looks like I'm not going to have an accomplice after all. Sorry, pal. She hoists her bag over her shoulder and shrugs her hands in a what can you do gesture, then she's gone, the big Purple Blood paying her no attention as she absconds. You want to feel betrayed, but it's hard to blame her considering how scary this guy is. In your heart, you know that you're dead already, but you're not going to accept your fate without attempting to prevent it. You make a mad dash to escape, sprinting towards the skinny alleyway and thinking that maybe you can scamper up a fire escape or something. Unfortunately, your attacker's size doesn't seem to slow him down, and you can hear his heavy footfalls right behind you. He laughs, and it somehow sounds dopey and dumb and completely terrifying at the same time. You make it to the alley, but you fucked up because it's a dead end and you don't see anything you could use to clamber to high enough ground. You turn to face him, hopelessness sinking down to your toes. Your scrappy alien tenure on this hazardous new planet is about to come to a messy end. The Purple Blood swings his massive club lazily in one hand as he approaches you, not bothering to run anymore. You drop into a fighting crouch, trying to think back to your third-grade karate lessons for any moves that might be useful, but before he can crush your skull in, you see a flash of movement behind him. He staggers, dropping the club as something hits him from behind. As much as I appreciate inspiring my fans, I'm gonna have to ask you not to interpret my art so literally, as in no murdering. Ramil springs off the troll's back after clawing and then rolls to the side, avoiding the swinging fist. She grabs for his club, which is almost as long as she is tall, but before she can use it, his next blow catches her below the ribcage, sending her flying back across the alley and into the brick wall. She is on her feet again fast, but you can tell that she's injured, and now she doesn't have the element of surprise on her side. The Purple Blood turns his back on you as he closes in on Ramil, laughing again. You can't let him kill her, not when she came back for you, but you have no idea how you can help here. Your eyes land on Ramil's bag, tossed to the side in the melee, and in desperation you grab a loose paintbrush that rolled out of it. You dive forward with a battle cry and stab the end of the paintbrush deep into the High Blood's calf. Violet blood squirts you in the face. He yells, and you manage to roll away just in time to avoid getting smacked. The slight stab wound hasn't slowed him down much, but it's given Ramil a chance to dive out of his range, and while he's still trying to grab you, she gets a hold of his club again. She's stronger than she looks, strong enough to get a good wind up with that thing, and when he turns toward her, she brings it down hard onto his skull. Damn, she really does not care, huh? It takes a few more good smashes before the troll finally stops groaning and twitching. Ramil breathes heavily, wiping blood splatter off her forehead. She looks up, meeting your eyes. You're absolutely positive that this is the most dramatic way you have ever been rescued. You can't believe she came back and risked her life for you. Don't mention it. I needed an accomplice, right? She drops the club and staggers over to you, pausing to spit out cerulean blood. You remember that she took some damage and hurry to support her, offering her your weak human arm to lean on. She gonna be okay? I'll be fine. Ceruleans are tough to cull, even for a wannabe subjugator. She tilts her head, looking down at the way her blood swirls with the larger quantities of purple blood pooling on the asphalt. Huh, that's actually not bad as an artistic medium. The colors and textures work well together. Maybe that blue blood kid from Shitter is onto something. Anyway, thanks for having my back with that paintbrush. That took some quick thinking. We make an okay team. I've never killed anyone before, but that kind of rule, didn't it? You're not sure that you would choose those exact words, but you're pretty relieved by now. You might not have the bloodthirsty glint in your eyes that Ramil does, but maybe you can interpret your adrenaline shakes as euphoric overload or something. Hell yeah, me too. I can see why people get into this killing business. If I wasn't such a great artiste, I'd consider switching careers. Oh, wait, did I? I forgot to put the violence warning. Update. Okay. But sometimes when you're good at too many things, you have to pick one and stick to it, so no professional assassinations for me. I'm still determined to rob the shit out of my competitors, though, and you, now that we've killed someone together, it just makes sense for us to stay partners in crime, right? Your heart leaps at the implication that she wants to stick together. You truly do not mind breaking every law in the books if it means she'll be your friend. Nice, we probably don't need to go around breaking every law. I just want to steal some art. But maybe we can reschedule the heist for another day. This neighborhood will be crawling with drones as soon as they realize a High Blood was killed. You feel bad that this troll attempting to slaughter you ruined Ramil's art gallery opening. Oh, are you kidding? My customer base loves this kind of shit. My art will get even more of a violent reputation when word gets out that someone died at my first gallery show. That's metal as fuck. You limp out of the alley, supporting Ramil with your arm around her waist, and she directs you to the back entrance of her gallery, where the two of you can clean off the blood and hide until the drones and the crowds are gone. If you don't mind, we can lie low at my place for a few days while we plan this heist. And I might as well get some work done while we wait and scheme. That fight was pretty inspiring. You're already my accomplice, so how would you feel about also being my muse? Victory! More blood! I love her! What a fucking delight. I'm kind of considering going back through the different parts to see stuff I didn't see. Because there are some of them where, if you choose a different choice, it'll be like, okay, bye, game over, start again. There are some where if you choose a different choice, it'll take you on a whole completely different thing. Like, apparently with her, we break into a High Blood's house or apartment. So I kind of want to see what that's about. Okay, like first it was play along and hold hands. Hide in one of the apartment buildings. That must be it. That's a possibility. Most of the hive stems around here are cheap rentals, burgundy or bronze at the most. I could take them, no problem. I mean, I can take anyone. Some jobs just require a little more forethought. You kind of meant finding an empty unit, or maybe skulking in a foyer or alien Starbucks, but you don't want to tell her your cool new friend how to do her job. And there you go again, jumping the gun and claiming friends you don't have the right to, but she did choose you. Though at this point, she may be wishing she'd grabbed some other random stranger's hand. Well, pick one. This is your idea. Oh, I forgot about the thing. Oh, geez, you seriously don't need this kind of responsibility in your life. Nothing good will come from letting you be in charge, but you also don't want her to think you're useless. You just kind of wish she'd tell you what to do and leave it at that. You pick a tall purple building at random. How about that one? Sure, I guess. You enter what seems to be a standard shabby apartment building, climbing the lobby steps up to a hallway lined with doors. This could be any apartment on Earth, but instead of letters on the nameplates, there's those colorful symbols. They remind you a little of zodiac signs. Huh, weird. Anyway, all the ones here are red or brown, like Polypa predicted. She listens at a couple doors before finally settling on one with a red symbol. Wait for her to pull out a lockpick or high-tech paraphernalia, or even just a pin from her hair. Instead, she takes a step back and delivers two sharp kicks just above the knob. What? I'm not the goddamn super. You assure her that you're absolutely not judging the way she's running this operation. You don't think you've ever met a mercenary before. Unless you count that guy who tried to hit you up for cash when you were injured, or the little girl who drained your blood for paints, or the boy constantly on the prowl for delicious meats. The apartment is dingy, small, and smells like old pizza. Good news. What? Hold on! Just a second. Not that it smells bad, just the fact that there's pizza here. You don't think you could live on a planet that didn't have pizza? That's just beyond the pale. You try to shut the busted door as well as you can. Polypa plunks herself down on the couch and pulls out her phone. Or what did Skilla called it? A palm husk? Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick. Okay, back. A second. She pulls out her palm husk and proceeds to ignore you. It's okay. It's important for friends to give each other space. Let me blank it back on. Okay. You take the opportunity to poke around the apartment you're currently illegally occupying, just generally being a nosy piece of shit. Whoever lives here is a real slob. Dishes are piled high in the sink, and the windows are so dirty you can barely see out of them. Something sticky and red stains half the counter. It might be blood, but it might also be Kool-Aid. Ah, fuck. God damn it. Shitting fuck breath. Something appears to have gone wrong. Polypa is still on the couch, hunched over with her palm husk held close to her face. She types with her knuckles. You've noticed a lot of trolls do that, probably because of their claws. It's all over Chitter. Everyone's talking about it. Eye contact. They got her. She's been cold. Her voice is flat, her eyes expressionless. She lets the palm husk slip from her fingers into her lap. You stand next to the couch like an asshole. You don't know what to say, and you doubt Polypa is the hugging type, but you really can't stand her looking so dejected. Before you start pitting me, don't. I barely knew her. It's not like we were in a quadrant or anything. It was just business. You sit down on the other end of the couch, tipping your head and raising your eyebrows to show you are ready to listen and learn and commiserate. Oliver wraps her arms around her knees. Most pros would work with a partner. It's a lot easier when you have someone you trust to watch your back. It's usually quadranted pairs to work together. There's one particularly famous Olive and Goldblood duo. I've lost plenty of jobs to them, and I've never found anyone that I trust enough to make into my partner, aside just a random one-off. Killing a sea dweller is no joke. It's almost totally impossible. Does that mean the guy back in the town square isn't actually dead? Polypo looks affronted at the very thought. Excuse me. No. It just means I had to get a very expensive knife and coat it in a very expensive poison and stab exactly the right place. The motherfucker is dead. There's no doubt about that. I don't leave jobs half done. High caste jobs are my specialty. Most people are too afraid to take jobs higher than teal. Me, I don't care. Low blood, high blood. If you've got the cash, I'll do the job. If I did have a partner, it would make things a lot easier. I'll admit that much. You cough lightly into a closed fist. What's this? Something caught in your throat, perhaps? Could it be the steady hand of fate reaching a finger down and testing your gag reflex? You murmur delicately that sometimes destiny steers you in a direction you never thought you'd go. Maybe, just maybe, it has steered her to you. That's forward for sure, but you're pretty much an old hand at this by now, right? Paula snorts. It's a little watery. She isn't crying, is she? No way, not a tough assassin like her. You're imagining it. You. No offense. But I only grabbed you because you look so weird, and I figured you wanted to avoid the drones even more than I do. You don't exactly blend in. You can't argue with her logic, but a sourness starts in your throat now, the realization that Polypa had not chosen you for your obvious trustworthiness and friendship potential, but rather because you look like a goddamn disaster. Fair, a very fair assessment, whatever, you can get past that. God knows you have gotten past worse, like attempted murder. As a good friend recently said, you've got to break a few cluck beast embryos to make a grublet. She's considering you now, more thoughtful than before. Well, I guess beggars can't exactly be choosers. But you have to remember. But what you have to remember, you aren't destined to find out. That fate finger reaches down further and chokes you. Keys jingle outside the apartment before whoever is out there catches sight of the busted door. What the hell? You and Polypa lock eyes. Oh, shit. A quick flash of silver, and suddenly a knife appears in Polypa's hands. Where did it even come from? Outside in the hall, someone is swearing. The broken door falls inward, and before it is all the way open, Polypa is up and over the couch, launching herself at the intruders. Oh shit, wait, you are the intruders. And this is what you were afraid of. You're about to watch your new friend kill some poor low-blood troll. This is such a terrible idea. Too bad there's no way to go back in time and make your choices all over again. Yeah, that would be rad. You wish life was like that. A short, stout little guy with a red symbol on his shirt comes through, but right behind him is a troll so tall he has to duck down to get through the door. Oh, hell no. The giant troll catches Polypa with one hand. He's got big ram-like horns and curly purple symbol on his shirt. His face is painted in lines of black and white, makeup designed to make his face look like a skull. Look, babe, look at these tiny wriggler thieves. Polypa writhes in his grip, clawing at him like an angry cat. He hangs on, giving her a shake. Ah, shit, you have to do something. But what? If you get in that purple guy's reach, you are absolutely going to get killed. Yes. You try to move your feet, but your survival instincts are kicking in and you're rooted to the spot. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You're useless. You don't even know what happened to Polypa's knife. God, you wish you'd taken some self-defense classes back on Earth. The High Blood gives Polypa a wide smile and tosses her across the room like he's lobbing a dodgeball. She lands on her back, rolls to her feet, and bolts for the window. Of course he would have a High Blood mace for it. The High Blood turns to you and sticks out a big gray tongue, and wow, suddenly you can move your feet again. You throw yourself out the window after Polypa. You're only up one floor, but that's one floor more than you would like to be when falling out of a building. Your fall is broken by Polypa, meaning you get a collection of bony elbows and knees applied to your gut. She bares her teeth at you. Get off, idiot. They're definitely going to call the drones. You gotta run. You roll your big floppy body off her and hustle to keep up, but she peels down the street. You flick one last glance over her shoulder to see two guys hanging out the window. The High Blood waves lazily. Paula starts out strong, but pretty soon she's limping and leaning on your shoulder. A jagged piece of glass is wedged in her calf muzzle. You lean down to get a closer look. You're no doctor, but you've recently become an expert in acute injuries. What the hell? Stop! You want me to leave a blood trail? We need to split up, now that we've been seen together. Your heart sinks all the way to your aching feet. God, you've been so sure you had this one on lock. You mentioned, half mumbling to yourself, that maybe it would be better if you stayed together, safety in numbers and all that. Oh yeah? Maybe safety for you. This was a terrible idea. I can't believe I ever trusted that someone could have my back. Yeah, let's do another of your amazing plans. Sounds great. She leaves you at an intersection of streets. Even though she's no longer leaning on you, you nevertheless feel a heaviness settle inside you. Philosophically, a deep fatigue so intense you want to curl up on the ground. So you do. Oh. At least your ass didn't kill her. Oh my god. Okay, so that's what happened in that alternate part. Okay, I had to go back and see what was up with that. Sorry for the noises. I had to take another sip of my drink. Should also eat another dumpling before they all go cold. Alright. Konil Okima. Right now, your travels have brought you to what appears to be a normal road in an innocuous part of town. Not particularly upscale, but not exactly a rat trap either. Just pretty average. A row of those spiky purple bushes line the side of the road, and behind one of them stands a large, fierce troll who is glancing furtively up and down the street. Okay, that's less average. Hey, are you her? Huh? I mean, are you her? Are you the one I'm waiting here for? Waiting here for? Well, your first instinct is definitely to tell her that yes, of course you're who she's waiting for, provided she's been waiting for a new friend. But honestly, you aren't sure your stick is going to work on this girl. Of course, not what I was thinking. This is so infuriating. She's so late, I'm bored. Do you think she's coming soon? You don't know who she means, but you suggest that she might be more comfortable waiting somewhere that isn't in a spiky purple shrub. Don't be stupid. My clients value discretion. I have to lay low. The shrub hardly manages to cover her, and standing behind it and shouting is definitely not making her less conspicuous. Neither is asking random passerby whether they are her client. Not that you can talk. Accosting people left and right and asking them to be your friend is kind of your whole deal. If you aren't Country Lady 453, then who is? Country Lady 453. That almost sounds like... Hey, Skilla! Oh, sorry, I'm late. I couldn't... What in tarnation? You know that genteel charm anywhere. Well, my stars. I definitely wasn't expecting to see you around here. What a masterful coincidence. Skilla, I love you. Skilla, my beloved. You are incredibly glad to see Skilla, and Lady, too, all unkidnapped and everything. You give Skilla a hug, which she enthusiastically returns. She nearly picks you up off your feet. Lady shoves her nose against your neck and gives you a few sloppy licks. Ew. Who the heck are you? I have business at this bush. Maybe find your own. Sorry, but I'm the business your bush has been looking for. Wait. What? You're a country lady? The very same. The name's Skilla Corriga. Skilla Corriga, pleasure to meet ya. I didn't think you'd be a bronze. I've gotten that before, honestly. Also, by the by, this concerns them too. She puts her hand on her shoulder. It does? It does? Sure enough. They were there when it happened. They even helped me fight off the Varmins who tried to take my Lucis. Right, yeah, you said something about that in your message. But I don't get it. What do you want me to do? Right, well, the bandits didn't get Lady, but other kids haven't been so lucky. Low bloods have been hit especially hard. I want you to find the bandits' base of operations, and I want you to take them out. Permanently and painfully. Kono's mouth moves silently, like she's trying to reason through the steps of Scylla's conversation. Then she catches up and a slow grin spreads over her face. Yeah, I like painful and permanent. But wait, you don't want me to get revenge for, you want me to get revenge for someone else's Lucis. Why? Well, a few of us got together and decided to do something about it ourselves. Since there's no hope of the heiress of the drones doing anything to stop the bandits. And they all elected me as spokestroll, seeing as though I'm the oldest and least easily shook. Okay, sure. I guess the why isn't important. How much you got? How much are you willing to throw down? I doubt any lowbloods could afford my fees, let alone a bunch of country rusties. Lady starts to growl, and Scylla puts a pacifying hand on her head. Everything's fine, lady. We expected this, didn't we? We were hoping you'd be willing to do it out of the goodness of your blood pleasure. Kono laughs so hard that she spits. Scylla winces. Gross. You got a pan disorder? If you think I take any cherry cases, I don't work for pretty smiles. Keep your compliments to yourself, Missy. That wasn't. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Why don't you just go find the bandits yourself? You know full well I don't have the means, but you do. It'd be a walk in the recreation field for you. If you weren't so nasty and selfish. Or maybe you're scared. You. I'll show you scared. Oh, hell, they look like they're about to throw down. You gotta do something to defuse this situation. Tell them you know people, ask Connell if she works on spec. Ask Connell if she works on spec. What is spec? What does it mean? Saley! What do you, is that one of your toys? Saley, that is not for chewing. No. Go choose something else. Sorry, I had to get something away from my dog. What? I don't work on spec. I'm only licensed on Alternia. Yeah, just kidding, I don't have a license. You explain to Kono that working on spec means doing some work for free in hopes that you're going to be paid later. You say it's unlikely that the bandits only go after Lucii. That would totally be ridiculous when there's so many other things in the world to steal. Like money. They probably have just heaps of money in their hideout. And if she breaks in, she can have it all. Skillet doesn't want it. She just wants to save the Lucii. So, you're so dang convincing that you almost convinced yourself. I'm not so sure. Sounds like you might just try and fuck me over. But you let out a scandalized gasp to convey just what an untoward accusation that is. You are shocked. Yeah, fine. Anything to get away from this stupid bush. She kicks the prickly purple shrub so hard it uproots and sails across the street to land on the hood of someone's car. But you're coming with me. I'm gonna hold you to that. And if there's no money, then I'll hold you tighter and squeeze until your weirdly colored eyes pop out. Yikes, you believe it too. She could definitely do that. But here's your chance. You got tons of success stories proving that forced exposure is really the best way to get people to like you. Sounds just peachy. When do we leave? Connell kicks at another bush. She seems to have an anger management problem. Well, you guess she is managing it. She's taking it out on the shrubbery instead of you or Scylla. We aren't doing anything. You aren't coming. Lady starts growling again, and Scylla looks like she wants to join in. Excuse me. Connell gets up in her face, moving away faster than someone her size seems like she should be able to. You aren't coming. You'll just get in my way. You're distracting. Scylla's mouth twitches just the tiniest bit. That is not what I meant. You keep tricking me. I just meant that you'll probably stop to save some bark beast wigglers and get us all cold. Skillet crosses her arms and tosses her hair. Fine. I'm counting on you two. They figure that the information gathering stage of the operation is next. You've seen heist movies, you know how shit works. But Conal just shouts at someone on her palm husk for a while and then punches some coordinates into a car that you're pretty sure isn't hers. It takes you to the outskirts of the city, past long stretches of cracked concrete and urban sprawl. Not exactly the place you'd expect to find bandits who steal farm animals. You point this out to Conal. She tells you to shut up, so you do. You leave the car and walk the last few blocks. The bandits' operation is honestly not super impressive. It's a long industrial structure that looks more like a manufacturing plant than a den of thieves. Beside it is something much more impressive, a sleek-back spacecraft, not like yours. This is a Mercedes-Benz, your banged-up Chevy Malibu. Even before you crash-landed, and that thing was a hunk of junk. Oh, holy shit! Is it an adult? What, the ship? No, dingus! You followed her frenzied gaze, and oh, right, the troll beside the ship is taller than anyone else you've ever seen here. Her skin a darker gray, her claws incredibly long. If everyone you met so far has been a kid, wow, they all deal with stuff that even adults on your planet don't routine. Routine death, dismemberment, and like 4 different relationship dynamics. If there really are no mature trolls here, then where are they? Wait, hold up. You're saying that where you from, you live with adults? Yeah? You all live on the same planet. Sure do. Huh, well, maybe you're tougher than you look. Adults are terrifying. Come on, let's get closer. You and Connell side up close enough to the trolls to overhear them haggling over stolen goods. So far the conversation is too general to tell if they mean the Lucii. Damn, they must have globes of steel. Talking back to an adult. I mean, I am great at rushing in without giving it any thought. I'm not a total moron. The 2 trolls appear to come to an agreement. They shake hands and head back to the warehouse together. So, what do you think? What should we do? Huh? You? Connell is the expert here. Yeah, no shit. For punching. I'm also good at slashing. But Jaja always does the thinking and the planning. He's the one with the eye beams and the big think pan. Don't tell him I said that. Please. You assure her that you couldn't tell Azdaja anything at all because you don't know who he is. Oh, right. Azdaja is a frustrating Bulge Lord loser who sucks so bad. Also, he's my mate spread and we've been together for sweeps. He's supposed to be here, but he's off busy doing some dumb bullshit, so I need you to be the pans of the operation, okay? Please, do this for me. Oh dear. Let me do a save for once. Barely hover over in the right place. Okay. Search the spaceship. Here's your chance to prove you're totally capable of making non-disastrous choices. I feel like something disastrous is gonna happen. You reason it would probably be best to check out that space cruiser while it's empty, since who knows how many people will be waiting for you in the warehouse. Yeah, that works for me. You suspect that Conal would have agreed to anything you suggested, just as long as she didn't have to make the decision herself. What a mood. As the kids say these days, big worm. There are so many tough decisions in your life recently. You're worried that the spaceship will be locked and your great plan is going to be over before it begins, but the door glides open easily and silently. Conal leads the way, and you let her. You don't know what wild security measures a troll ship has, but you do know you don't want to find out. The inside is normal enough, a pilot's and co-pilot's seat, a central panel covered in more of the squiggly Alternian language, and a bank of sleeping screens. Other than that, it is remarkably bare of any homey touches, not like your ship, which, in your humble opinion, was very nicely decorated. You got some pretty dope posters on your wall. More to the point, there's absolutely nothing of value here. Conal can tell also. There's no point in being here. This is just a cruiser. All the good stuff is definitely going to be inside the warehouse. Okay, fair, you have no idea what you're doing, and you're sick of pretending that you do. You wish you could just take a breather, honestly. The strange, compulsive desire for more friendship is still there, but you're pretty exhausted. Let's just... fuck. Oh, well, this kind of forward, Conal. You aren't even at the friendship stage yet. Oh, calm down, you gigantic tool. I mean, oh fuck, that's an adult troll and we were definitely going to die. That's why I said the fuck word. Oh. Oh. Oh fuck, that is a big troll. Connell is pretty big. She's the biggest troll you've met so far. If someone fed you to True Serum and put a gun to your head, you might even describe her as thick. This troll is fucking terrifying, and she looks pissed, or maybe that's just how her face always looks. There are teeth. Lots of teeth. Who told you to? You could be in here. I didn't order any ugly wrigglers. Who are you calling ugly? Connell immediately slaps a clawed gauntlet over her mouth, apparently remembering who she is shouting at. The adult troll growls, and you don't mean she sounds angry. It's not a husky, sexy metaphor. She really fucking growls, a deep, guttural animal noise. Staring into a pair of merciless cobalt eyes, you experience a pulse of crystalline fear, blank and cold. You were pretty much constantly braced for death, but this doesn't mean you're looking forward to it. Instead of springing forward and rending you to pieces, the adult just stares at you. Damn, adult monster troll, take a picture, it'll last longer. The last thing you remember is those blazing eyes. Then even that fades, and you slip away. Okay. Oh no. When you thrash back into consciousness, Connell is right on top of you, pinning you to the warm, thrumming metal of the spaceship wall. She doesn't look angry or scared or anything. Her snarling, expressive face is utterly blank. You say her name a couple times, but she doesn't twitch. She just squeezes down harder, grinding the bones of your wrists together. Someone is swearing. Oh, fuck, you strain to see around Connell's head. The adult troll is seated at the pilot seat, and the console is lit up. You realize that the thrumming in the walls means the ship is moving. You see the sickly green-gray of the Alternian night sky, and your stomach does a disorienting leap of mingled elation and dread. You can't believe you're actually going to space and finally heading somewhere besides this fucking hellhole of a planet. Of course, that's how you felt when you were the first leaving Earth, and you have no idea where this troll is bringing you, and your new prospective friend is just sitting there like she's hypnotized. She only reacts when you struggle, and then only to slam you back against the wall. You just randomly fell asleep, didn't you? How the heck did that happen? The adult starts talking again, but she isn't talking to you. No, I'm on my way. No more delays, I promise. The Wu-Sai shipment is on schedule. No, don't worry, everything is. Sirens scream and screens flash. The ship bucks wildly like a sailboat hit by a wave. The adult troll's fingers fly over the consoles. Oh no, what the hell? I don't know, it's like I've lost all control of the damn thing. Fuck! Connell's grip on you loosens. She pulls away and shakes her head back and forth, shaggy hair flopping into her eyes. What the hell? Where are we? She sounds small and lost. The adult troll doesn't turn around. She's too busy yelling a mayday into her comm and trying to wrest back control of her ship. The whole thing shudders again, and yours and Connell's heads bonk together. Ow! The ship bucks again. It feels less like an engine failure and more like a gigantic baby is shaking it like a rattle. And you're scared, sure, but you're also awash in a sudden and unexpected flare of understanding and competency, because this isn't the first time this has happened to you. This is exactly how you crash-landed on Alternia in the first place. You were just passing by, minding your own damn space business, when your ship decided it wanted nothing better than just to snap its reins, toss its wild head, and head straight for the unfamiliar planet below you. You push yourself to your feet, trying to tame your nausea as the ship rolls. You grab Connell's hand and push her across the compartment to a glowing green sigil on the wall. You don't know much, but you do know absconding when everything starts falling to shit. Hey, what are you? Oh, let go of me. Absolutely not. If you do that, you will not be able to be friends with her, because she'll be dead. With the strength born of desperation, you pull her into the escape pod with you. Ah! You won't fit! You will, you do, but it's uncomfortable as hell. Craning your neck at a very uncomfortable angle, you manage to reach around Connell and press the big red button on the wall. The alarm sounds, and you hear the adult say, "What the?" before the door slams shut and the escape pod rockets out into space. You shudder back down toward Alternia, Connell's weight crushing your delicate ribcage. Poor ribcage. You're surprised it hasn't sued you for damages yet. Wow, that sure was a shit show. Hardships bring people together, don't they? That's def a thing. Unfortunately, you judge from Connell's swearing and muttered death threats that this is not one of those times. Oh no. Did she fucking kill me? Okay, that did not go so well. Okay, follow the pirate into the warehouse. Let me get a bite of something real quick. Yeah. You decide to follow them into the warehouse. That way, at least you won't be trapped in a confined space if anyone comes back out to check on the ship. You get ready to do some James Bond-ass shit, ducking behind corners and saying, "Cover me," maybe executing some slick rolls down the hallway. You can't really do any gymnastics even when you aren't healing from broken ribs, but fantasy James Bond, you sure can. Fantasy James Bond, you sure can. Kyle doesn't bother with any of that. She just stomps down the hallway toward the first door. Damn, she really hadn't been joking when she said she was more into the straightforward approach. You pick up speed to try to get to the door before she does, just to prevent her from charging in there and getting you both caught immediately. Good thing, too, through the window on the door, you see what looks like some kind of break room. A couple of trolls are messing around on their palm husks, and a few more are sitting around at a table, playing some kind of game that involves cards, dice, and little colorful shells. Oh, come on, there's not even that many. We can take them. Ah! I forgot you weren't my partner, you're just dead weight. No real argument there. Apollo told you that most pros work together for a reason. It's much harder than your own. Much harder on your own. You wonder if Connell would have been so hot to take the job if it hadn't been for Scylla's, vibes. Yeah, that's the word. The vibes. They were vibing. You have to do this. You have to rally. Connell is already losing faith in you. Or maybe she had no faith in you in the first place. Whatever. You choose a different door at random and go down it, assuring Connell that you definitely know what the fuck you're doing. What? How are you going? You've been down this road before with GMN and your meat quest at the sewers. This is probably slightly higher stakes, but the same basic principle applies. Fake it till you make it. Connell gets annoyed much faster than your other friend if her sub-vocalizations were anything to go by. Damn, you really need to step up your game. You think back on all the heist and infiltration movies you've seen. Maybe you can find a locker room or a troll laundry room and find one of those SWAT/hazmat suits. Yeah, that would be the best plan. Just put on a disguise and wander around like a sneaky fucking oh god damn it. You're so busy focusing on your brilliant plan that you open a door without thinking and find yourself looking at trolls playing card game. At the trolls playing the card game. Somehow, in your random quest to the warehouse, you manage to double back on yourself and come out on the other side of the break room. Classic. This is classic you. You're almost charmed by yourself. Almost. There's a frozen moment where all the bandits just stare at you and Connell, perhaps taking in the truly staggering idiot level you have achieved. Ah, thank fuck. We should have just done this from the beginning. Oh Christ, you've gotten into quite a few fights since arriving on this planet, while mostly you've stood around while other people fought. But the point is, Connell, she is brutal. She takes out almost the same number of bandits that you, Scylla, and Lady did in a quarter of the time. Multicolored blood flies. And god, you know these are bad guys. They've been stealing Lucii and selling them, which sucks. But right now they're kind of just a bunch of kids getting massacred. You don't feel great about it? In fact, you think you might need to sit down for a little bit. Your back hits the wall and you slide down to the dirty floor. You're clammy all over. Ha, pathetic. Connell pulls her gauntlet out of the final troll's neck with a spray of yellow blood and a squelch that makes her stomach roll. She notices you on the ground. What are you... Are you serious? Come on. You try to tell her that she volunteered you for this mission herself, but you can't slow her breathing enough to get the words out. You're not sure why now is the time you finally freak out. Maybe it's the close quarters, or maybe you've been on Alternia long enough for this multicolored mess to finally start registering as blood. Maybe you've reached your horror saturation point. Whatever. If you learned anything from this experience, it's that the why of things doesn't actually matter. Connell looms over you, raising a gauntlet. She's gonna kill you. At least if you're dead, you can't puke on yourself. But instead of brutal stabbing, you feel a steady pressure on the back of your neck. Connell pushes her head down until it's between your knees. Take slower breaths, idiot. You follow her instructions, too lightheaded to dwell on the absurdity of being coached through a panic attack by a girl who just murdered like 10 dudes. She's surprisingly good at this. Heh. Daja freaked out at his first fight, too. Wasn't even bloody. And the little wriggler passed out. I guess some bloodcasts really are better built for violence. She sits down beside you and pats you on the back. You kind of wish she'd taken the bloody gauntlet off first, but you appreciate the gesture. You're having a hard time reconciling Miss Connell with the one who had snarled at Scylla for being too nice. I'm multifaceted. Also, fuck her. Which reminds me. She pulls her phone out of her pocket, smearing a little olive blood across the screen. Corica, I got your bandits. She talks a lot louder on the phone than she does in real life. Yeah, no shit. Of course I work fast. Especially when I don't have plans to slow me, anyone to slow me down with a bunch of tactics and plans. Dah! Save it for your cosmesis. She hangs up and glares at the phone. You tell she seems to really hate Skilla. Connell's face goes a fierce shade of green. Don't be stupid. I barely know her. You don't press the issue. You also don't point out the kind of obvious point that these probably aren't the only trolls in the facility. The one who's been hanging out with the adults isn't here, for instance. But if Connell forgetting about them means less murder, you're all about it. There's no way the bandits are continuing their work after this. Connell also seems to have forgotten about the fact that she came in here looking to be paid, and nope, she's looting the bodies. Great. It's a lot messier and takes way longer in real life than it does in video games. In the end, she ends up with 5 palm husks, a laptop, some jewelry, and some little squares of plastic you think might be sci-fi credit cards? Whatever. There's barely anything here. But that fight made it pretty worth it. Well, you're glad it was good for somebody at least. You're just trying to not think about it and maybe get outside as fast as possible. Whatever Connell wants to do with your outstanding debt at that point, well, you can square up out there. Yeah, don't worry about that. I'm not actually going to squeeze you. It would just be too easy. Like squishing a march bug. Fuck yeah, saved by being pitiful. I ain't tell you have any money anyway. I mean you're wearing an ablution robe. True. Connell helps you to your feet. You kind of want to ask her if you're friends now, even though the only bonding activity you've done together is combined murdering and comforting, with her doing both of those things and you standing there like a dumbass. But really, you've made friends with worse people for worse reasons. Here. Why don't you take one of these? She hands you one of the palm husks. Thankfully, it only has a little bit of blood on it. Actually, it might be mustard, like the actual condiment, but she's giving you a phone? Why? You don't have one, right? I mean, you don't even have any pants. This way, we can keep in touch. And you can tell me if you have any more jobs with an excellent violence level. Like this one. Here, let's exchange info. Palm husks are really useful. You can use them to call people and everything. You aren't sure if she's just making a joke. Possibly she thinks you're an idiot. That's okay, you can deal with that. Because not only did you make a friend today, you got a gift today. Holy shit, you killed it. Yay! Break my number. Victory! Yay! That's pretty great. Okay, well I have learned that olives are hunters. So it does make sense that they would be good assassins. Dog. Silly dog, I need my charging cord. Thank you. That was pretty great. I think I can do at least one more. So let's get into Volume 8 of Stresses, Song, and Otherwise. Meet some more lovely characters. Let me take a sip. Another night, another ramble. A classic song comes back to you as you continue on your way. Some of that good old earth wisdom about a specific kind of footwear being made for walking. You wish you had that kind of footwear right now in this current chapter of your life, or any footwear for that matter. You've definitely learned your lesson about getting overexcited at the prospect of new friends. And running about in nothing in a bathtub, running out in nothing but a bathrobe. Who are you kidding? Maybe not in that particular bathrobe anyway, but chances are high that wasn't the last time you'll fly off in the buoyant afterglow of an intense friendgasm. I hated that sentence. Tisius Entic, a teal? And Chixie Roxmer. I heard about Chixie before. Where did I hear about you? I can't remember where I heard about you. I remember that name. Just up ahead, you see a troll leave her hive muttering to herself. She's holding an unstable mountain of papers and looks with one arm, using her free arm to hold the mug steady. She isn't paying attention to you, which is fine. Don't get it twisted, you look to make another friend. You're just understand how it's a weird, flighty thing. Some trolls you mesh with, some you don't. You smile at her just in case, so when she walks right by you without stopping, you shrug. This planet is chock full of friendable weirdos. You'll live. You only take a few more steps before the sound of her absolutely eating shit on the sidewalk makes you turn. It happens fast enough so you only really see the aftermath of upended books and papers raining down in an impressively wide circle around her. Ah, globes. Damn ass rocks. She sits up, but that's as far as she bothers to get. After taking a sip from her mug, which somehow must have stayed level in her grip during her fall, she sighs and gets to work gathering it all back up with her free hand. Yeah, this checks out. It's a thing that would happen to me. It's not like I have anything else to be doing. You've seen a teen movie or two in your day, you know this trope. The cool kid helps the unpopular nerd after they fall like a chump and embarrass themselves, then slowly the pair establishes trust. By the time credits roll, they've fallen in love. Not that you necessarily want to fall in love, or that you're under the delusion that you are in any way cooler than her, but still, it's tried and true, and also, like, a pretty standard decent person thing to do. Sorry. So, like the decent person you hope to be, you skedaddle on over. You stop short just in front of her wide-flung ring of items. You want to make sure she's not going to yell at you or murder you or anything before you interfere. What? JK, I've busted ass, I know. It's a scene. Well, what are you waiting for? Be a good bystander and stop standing by. She gestures kind of all around her, and that's confirmation enough. You bend to pick up a heavy-looking book, and there it is, emblazoned right on the cover. A gavel, a humongo fucker of a judgment implement, too, with spines all around the handle. Dread creeps up your spine. You slowly slide your gaze from the book's cover to its owner. She doesn't have anything ostentatiously blood-color-themed clothes on, though, wow, she is sporting socks and sandals. Maybe you are cooler than her after all. But the very prominent eye bags are tinged teal. Ah, globes. A lawyer. It's not that you don't appreciate your one lawyer friend for who he is, it's just you aren't sure you have it in you to sneak your way into the heart of another. You kinda got lucky last time. The scales of your judgment and your heart start weighing your chances. Keep standing there, paralyzed by choice, but let's keep picking up the papers. You start making neat piles of all her stuff. After watching you for a second like she's making sure you're not screwing it up, she dramatically heaves herself to her feet and joins in the effort. I don't have time for this shit. Make sure to keep the B-34s together in my red folder. You look down at your current pile. B. That's the one with the little hook on top, right? Or is that G? Sweat pricks at your temples. You picked up a little bit of written Alternian here and there, but you're still not anywhere near competent at it. Sifting through the papers, you search for anything familiar. You make it a few words, but there's just a lot of these little guys on those papers. You've got performance anxiety. No, right. You probably still can't read. You look up at her startled. How can she tell? Well, I mean, you don't look much like a troll. It isn't exactly a gargantuan mental leap to assume you're not from around here. And also, I've heard about you. You straighten up. Any press is good enough press when it comes to friends discussing you, right? Teals talk. Oh. Unfortunately. Oh. She puts her mug down on the ground and picks up a fallen book, chalking as she flips to whatever page she's looking for. That little asshole is going to have an even more unfortunate crap to say to me when he finds out I set us all back by dropping half our group project in a ditch. She paces in clustered circles until she finds a bookmark among the debris. Flicking a wet leaf off it, she shoves it in the open spine of the book and slams it closed. Whatever. Can't think about that yet. Gotta get all this back in order first. Right, yeah, the ordering of stuff. You keep at it, doing the best you can to keep similar-looking things together. You can feel her eyes on your back, and you turn to face judgment. You basically got it right, actually. You did say you were quick at the draw. I'm Tisius, by the way. She doesn't so much smile at you as grimace. It looks mostly pleased, as exhausted expressions go. That's as good friendship-building material as any other. You've certainly started with worse than being complimented. The breeze plays at the ends of her frizzy hair, flickering a few papers while it's at it. Now that you aren't frantically trying to prove your helpfulness and have a moment to think, you don't know if the sidewalk is the best place to be starting from scratch with the whole filing system. You open your mouth to tell her as much when a huge papa gust blows in Breeze Jr.'s wake, blowing the neat stack back into chaos. Mother grubbing. She sinks slowly back down into the snow globe of paper, takes a long sip from a mug sitting next to her, and then tilts her head back and unleashes a single deep gut holler. You scuttle around, catching documents out of the air until the gust is gone. It's not that Tisius doesn't seem capable, it's just that she seems a bit burnt out. You know what it's like to feel like you're at the end of your rope. So now that you have half a swing and grab at a handle on things here, you feel like it's your turn to do the heavy friendship lifting. Suggest a small breather might help. Offer to help organize it all somewhere with less of a breeze risk. That one? Hey, your night is pretty wide open. You wouldn't mind moving this operation to a less windy location and getting it together for real? Yeah, alright. She still sits there kind of dazedly, so you take over. It feels nice to be useful, even if you're not super confident about your skills. You at least know how to make a mean pile. Ask you to make a handful of them. She moves to join in the effort, and you shoosh her back down. You're helpful, McHelperson. You've got it. She makes a non-committal noise and watches you work. You try not to feel too bad when she winces at a few of your sorting decisions. She doesn't stop you, at least. She scrunches up her face and yawns, which catches you off guard. Man, she really is wiped. You look away from her to the paper you were about to grab, and it's not there. Maybe it flew into another stack, or you picked it up already and forgot? Yeah, that's probably right. Anyway, she had her eyes closed, so she didn't notice. It'll be fine. Once you have everything kinda together, you help her to her feet. You're pretty sure that was her hive she just walked out of, so you ask if you should go there. No, I was headed to the book hive. I can take you there. She seems to rally a bit now that it's her turn to lead the way. She picks up the hefty staff of her things, balances her mug on top of it all, and starts walking. Put that one paper or something about the one paper. Where is it? It being the opportunity to engage in some really serious micromanagement. There's no choice to be had, really, you move it. The Book Hive is an imposing building, and inside are a series of rooms opening off a central atrium. You walk past one set of double doors showing off a room full of weird statues and display cases, and another one bright with the light of dozens of display screens and humming with electricity. Further around the curve of the room, you pass a room full of brains in jars? It really looks like brains in jars. There's another still, a windowless one, ostentatiously secured with multiple padlocks and what looks like a retina scanner. There are a bunch of trolls in each room, and as you keep passing doors, you realize they're almost all teal bloods. Are they the nerd cast? Wow, harsh. I mean, yeah, though. We kinda are. I know plenty of gold bloods who spend their nerd energy ruining the planet from their basements, and blue bloods usually have their own personal jerk-offs as the Book Hive. There are always outliers, I guess. But yeah, between us and the Jades, the Book Hive is blue-green dweeb city. Tisius keeps moving like this is nothing new. To her, you guess it isn't. She pushes a creaky wooden door open to reveal a large study room full of bookshelves and furniture. There are even a few weird-looking ferns decorating the place. In here are a bunch of trolls, some reading, many on their computers. You dump the stuff you loved here onto one of the tables. The sound echoes in here, and a handful of trolls look your way. Yikes, you hope your presence won't be too conspicuous. You're probably fine. Unless anyone gets horny for acting grown and wants a bounty. But you're with me, so they probably won't mess with you. You're a little surprised by that. Tisius, who is slumped down in a chair and is stolidly reorganizing her supplies, doesn't exactly give off a brawler aura. No, like they know I'll talk them out of it. Or whine at them about leaving me alone until they do. That makes you feel safe enough, so time to do some old-fashioned organization. What is this big project anyway? It's just some bullshit. She stops and cuts her eyes around the room, but no one's still paying attention as far as you can see. She starts peeking again quieter. An assignment for one of my legislator training courses. We're supposed to choose a prosecutable offense from the scrolls of evisceration and list all potential. She must be able to sense your eyes glazing over at the idea of another long and not parsable legal jargon ramble before she cuts herself off there. It's barely worth describing. Grub school level, honestly, but it's extremely fucking tedious to research and then annotate. Especially when you can't find sources that haven't been scrubbed nice and fuchsia. Anyway, as long as we get things in the right folders in the right order, we should be good for now. Sounds good enough for you. Plenty of time to keep chatting and getting to know each other, though she said this was a group project, right? Where are her group members? Shouldn't they be contributing? Yeah, like I let them. Just kidding, I'm very good at allowing people to help me. She grits her teeth and nods at you, masterfully setting aside the papers labeled with a letter that looks like a little microscope. Case in point. Anyway, they did their parts already. I just want to make sure to have the finishing touches. Right then, you hear approaching footsteps. It better not be some high blood you gotta take out. You mean, you'll do it if you have to. It's tried and true. I'm just not sure how well this dynamic duo would fare in that case. You stop scanning the room for potential bludgeoning material when you see Tizia's expression go from regular tired to tired and annoyed, but not in fear of mortal peril. You hear him speak right as you start to turn. Ah, hey pal. Ah, how the mighty fallen into a mud puddle, it seems. At least my associate seems to be picking up after you fairly efficiently. Ah, fuck off, Sorgor. We'll have it together in time. Ah, you sure you don't require any assistance? I'd still have to raise my rates from my original offer, but you know it still stands. You did your part already. So spare me both your sales pitch and your company before you give me a second acid tube ulcer. Oh, right, you need to do those final edits of yours. Subtextual anti-establishment agendas don't insert themselves, after all. Suit yourself. See you in class. They give each other an identical but inscrutable hand signal. If the huff of perturbation from the nearby jade is any indication, it's gotta be something vulgar. Sigor and Tisius perish. He smirks and raises his eyebrows at you as he turns to go. Come by later. You nod. You open your mouth to be nosy, but Tisius sees it coming a mile away. What, you never had a class friend? Someone who does good work but is miserable to hang out with? I don't have time to waste on more than one quadrant or I'm lying to you, so don't blow a brain gasket. Just when you think you have all the troll dynamics down, you gotta make room for that cursed bastard nuance. Anyway, you guess it makes sense. You and your troll friends have all kinds of weird vibes with each other too. Whatever works. Exactly. You go back to happily sorting. Tisius rolls her shoulders and starts leaping through your piles. Where's my... Have you seen a handwritten page? Should be here. She starts double-checking herself. Her pace doesn't so much escalate as it does intensify. Her whole body becomes almost graceful with efficiency. You got everything, right? I thought I watched where it all went. I could have sworn I saw it land. You can help her redo a lost page. It shouldn't be too hard to recreate it. That doesn't help. She glares at you and starts forcefully whispering, still double-checking piles without looking, like she knows them by touch. You don't understand. Those were my personal notes on an extremely sensitive topic I discovered while researching. I was only planning on using it to inform my stance, not turn it in with the rest. It's not here. She stops her futile search, downs the rest of whatever's in her mug, and holds her head in her hands. I'm fucked. I might as well lie down right here until moss grows on my desiccated body. That's dramatic. You don't want to blame her or anything, especially since it is possibly sort of your fault it's lost, but you still want to give her hope. Maybe next time she could use Gorgle Docs. It won't blow away and it has collaboration settings. You've used them with... Her head pops back up, her features slack. I can't use Gorgle Docs for this. Are you listening? That is the whole point. You know who owns that, right? The document is monitored. Analog is the only way to do anything unless you know how to get me onto the dark web, which I fucking doubt. If someone found it, if my handwriting is recognized, I am dead. And I'll never be able to... She trails off, just sort of slumped in her seat, staring into the void. Oh shit, you really fucked up. You admit to her that you may have allowed one page to blow away when you weren't paying attention, then it could possibly have been that one. Great. Can't believe I was stupid enough to let someone else handle things. I was just so tired. Her shoulders start to shake a bit. Oh no. She doesn't cry, but you almost wish she would. The way she just keeps blinking back her tears and hiding her face with her arm is worse. Aww. It feels invasive to watch, and thankfully it doesn't last. She sniffs once, clears her throat, and wipes her face with her sleeve. Silently, she stacks all her things back in a pile. Okay. I need to retrace my steps. Maybe it hasn't been spotted yet. Maybe it'll be okay. It won't, but oh well. You reach to help, desperate to fix the situation, but she gingerly picks your hand off of one of her books and drops it in your lap. Your stomach sinks to join it. No. Don't worry. I've got it. She wrestles it all into a precarious heap in her arms. It wobbles once as she makes her way steadily to the door, but she catches it herself. Head high, she keeps walking. She doesn't look back. Oh no! Oh, that was so sad. Let me. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. No, let me do it again. Tizzy is. There's more papers. Suggest that a small breather might help? Or maybe it won't. Maybe I should go back to the part where I just stare, because then that won't be helping her pick up her papers? I don't know. You know a breaking point when you see one. You weren't expecting it so early in a potential friendship encounter, but still, it's clear that this troll needs some time to chill. This is a mess, yeah? She swings the pendulum of her chin over to glared, deadened knives in your guts. Okay, yes, it's a mess, but it seems like maybe just perhaps it would be best to sort of put a pin in it all, to suck air in and out of your insufflation sacks or whatever, and just get it together for a minute. No group projects were ever aced when the clear leader was not to peak mental performance. She wrinkles up her nose and closes her eyes. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. Not all of it, of course, but this night specifically, everything and anyone I know or thought extensively about before in my life. So that just leaves you. What do you have in mind, friend? Because I'm all out of ideas. That word still does a number on you, no matter how many times you hear it used flippantly. You have an idea already, so you hurriedly gather her shit into extremely unorganized piles, which she drops off in her hive to deal with later. You have expected her to just not come back out, but she does. She's kept only one heavily annotated tome and her mug, which she still nods at when she speaks. I know, but these are just for in case. Anyway, do your worst. With a salute and a few gentle tugs at Tizzy's sleeve to keep her moving, you get going. You and your Alternian pals have taken turns leading each other to some pretty wild places in your time here. The place you take Physius to, though, is somewhere you haven't shared with anyone. It's where you came back to on days when you can't find a friend or don't want to impose on any of the ones you've made. It's on the outskirts of town, where the buildings are spread thinner until the landscape cuts upward into a jagged cliff base, and bolted into the side of the rock is a tower, or what's left of one. It's basically a heap of scaffolding and rusted-out ladders holding up a half-covered platform, but it's been a good place to staunch bleeding in Stargaze. Do I get kind of an outdoorsy vibe to you? Does my half-tucked button-up and paltry muscle mass scream, would I love to scurry up a dilapidated relic? You worry about her hating your plan, but you kind of feel like she'd complain no matter where you took her, and at this point the die is cast, so heave-ho, you say, is stronger than it looks. You offer to hold her stuff for her during the ascent. She gives you the book, but clutches the mug against her chest. You know better than to pry, but you're dying a little wondering why she's so weird about it, unless she's got liquor made from viscera in there. Or maybe her Lucis gave her the mug, so it's special. Could be both. You shrug and start climbing. Like you thought she would, she follows you, and like before, she complains about it the whole time, and like the structure itself, you both weather it fine. At the top, she looks around. Is this your hive? It's more like a hideout. You still feel a little shy about it. It's not as fancy as your friend's hives, and you don't have any weird animal parents to make you snacks or anything. These are only little keepsakes you picked up along the way, set up on the creaky old table next to some complicated old tech you couldn't get to power on. This must be an old watchtower. From when that was part of her imperial bitchiness's preferred method of surveillance. She runs a hand over the dusty screen. Oh, Trissa? You learned about her? No. Her bigger, badder, off-world counterpart, the Condesce. You look at the rusted barrel of some terrifying weapon mounted in the corner. Heck. Terrifying weapon mounted in the corner, and then out over the landscape and sprawling town. In the distance, smoke rises from a freshly demolished hive. Lynching in the moonlight, drones circle it like buzzards. It's been like this here for a while, then. You sit down, your legs dangling off the side of the platform. Tisius joins you, a safe distance away from the edge. That is one hell of an understatement. But yeah, we've got a time-honored status quo in operation here. Streamlined. Efficient. Brutal. Tisius looks miserable. That's not what you were going for. You summon up the old Roy G. Biv in your head for the 1000th time. She should be safe, right? Teals are middle class? And anyway, she's a lawyer. She's got the power to be on her side. Saying so doesn't seem to cheer her up at all. I mean, you're not wrong. But being in a position to benefit from the system doesn't make the system more morally palatable. And if I'm being real about it, it's more me being forced to uphold it than anything else. She nods toward the book in your hands. Oh, right. How does this all work anyway? Can she just not be a lawyer? And aren't there good ones? Yeah, I can quit if I want to get cold. There's always a choice. She sighs. It's not like I expect suffering to ever stop completely. It just seems like an awful lot of work to do to make sure it keeps happening. And that's the entire job of a legislator. Unless you're purple enough to get away with it, you're just guilty, no matter what. It's just a matter of going through all the fanfare of a trial, all for the same result. It's sick, but it's so normal by now that no one knows how to stop it. She looks more exhausted now than she did during the paper explosion. Like when you've used up all your sadness and all you have left is a deep, broken fatigue. This isn't exactly the rejuvenating getaway you envisioned. There's just so much injustice. You continue to try to be positive. Are there not political parties and secret underground movements or anything? Sure, most lowbloods you met have a healthy, fatalistic nonchalance about their situations, but there's gotta be something else out there. There were a few people who tried to stir shit up back in the day. It's all kind of hushed up and hard to find any information on the history of them, though. Definitely not the kind of thing they teach you in legislator training. One was a mutant blood, the other had wings. So I guess they didn't have much of a chance anyway. You can't imagine the story having a happy ending, but you still want to know more. There's a subtle shift in her tone of voice now, but she's doing more than complaining. Draws you in. Oh. One of them seems to have gathered enough of a following to become a kind of religious figure from what little I can find about him. The other one led a military revolt. They both were killed along with their attempts at change. I don't even know what happened to their compatriots. She stops to squint at you. I don't know how you got me talking like this, but in the fuck it spirit of the night, I'm just gonna keep going. If it wasn't clear, I'm telling you things that can get me extremely cold. So, please be chill. You're so chill, the chillest, and also probably pretty colorful yourself. Good point. She squints at you a little longer and then stares out into the night. Her jaw muscle clenches a few times before she speaks. I have some ideas. She's still not looking at you, but she sits up a little straighter. You feel your spine following suit almost on its own. All of us training to be legislators like to practice throwing our weight around. Some of us more than others, which I guess you have first-hand experience with. But we don't have much real power yet. We will, though, if we pass our exams. Which I will. I have been staying up most days studying every documented piece of the law, and some underground stuff too, when I find it. There are exploitable loopholes they don't know about. If I can establish myself as a major player, I might have a chance to change things. Some things you can only take apart from the inside out. By now, she's built up a fevered energy, even with the sluggish way she talks. When you shift in your seat, she kind of snaps out of it. Oh, sorry. Guess I got a little worked up. I don't exactly get to talk about this very often. It's kind of overwhelming to think about how fucked every little thing is all the time. Boy, don't I know it. But now that I see it clearly, I can't not do something. It's like Alternia is a giant fire, and I'm pissing on a tiny corner of it while the rest of everything burns up around me. Your brain is buzzing with how real all that felt. You can't really add anything to it, so you just nod. Are things any less abysmal where you're from? Hoo-hoo boy, in ways, yeah. At home, the accused is called the defendant, at least, as in they get a defense. Her eyes brighten. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Does your justice system work? You exhale slowly, trying to buy yourself time to encapsulate all of your planet's various cultures, societal structures, and similarly overwhelming list of injustices. In an intelligent blurb, you settle on not always, not for everyone. Her laugh is short and hollow. So much for enlightened life forms existing somewhere on the universe. You guess until a more kind and just alien life form comes to take over, you'll have to make do with each other. Yeah, you're not so bad. I'd take on an impressive regime with you anytime. She gives her arm an awkward tap with her fist and then looks back out over the edge. Anyway, I'm no religious figure or military strategist. There's gotta be someone out there who is. How to use what skills I have instead, I guess, until I find them. What the fuck else would I do with my time? Keep pissing on the fire is the best you can do, you reckon? That and get others hydrated enough to do the same. She laughs. Keep on pissing, huh? I'll drink to that. She takes a big swig from her mug. After a beat, she silently, without looking at you, extends her arm your way. You stare in the mug's depths, a little unnerved. It doesn't look like viscera, but you've been burned before. It won't kill you. Is it sober or something? You're not sure what it will do, but Tisius is truthful, if nothing else, so bottoms up. But what the fuck? It's water. Tisius grins and taps her temple with a claw. Gotta give the people something. Otherwise, they might think I'm the way I am on my own. Then where would we be? You don't know. Letting people in can be helpful, sometimes. Sure. I'm fine. You're not convinced. Okay, I'll admit it. It's not a bad idea to relax every once in a while. Get your priorities straight. This was a decent time. You're glad? She's glad, but mostly just talked the whole time about the same stuff that she was overwhelmed by to begin with. Does that even count? You learned a lot, but she still looks pretty wiped. As soon as you think that, she yawns. She's so driven. You shiver a bit to imagine what she could do if she took time to rest for real. You pat the pile of blankets next to you. It's no bed or tub of soap or slime for that matter, but it's gotten you through enough. She looks warily at it and yawns again. I guess my Lucis and my mate Sprit will just think I'm at the book hive anyway. One little nap won't hurt. I'll get up early tomorrow, reorganize our stupid busy work projects. She tentatively lowers herself down onto the blankets. Her eyes close for a brief second before they snap open again, glaring at you full force. Don't doubt me either. I've got it under control. Oh, you have zero doubts in her abilities, you say. She curls back up against herself and a small rattle of contentedness shakes in her throat. Out in the distance, the blaze has dimmed to a thin plume of smoke. You hope whoever's hive it was is okay. You're not sleepy, so you'll just keep watch to make sure she gets up by sunrise. You'll tilt your head back and look up at the unfamiliar constellations. Yeah, I feel like I stopped a lot during that one. Hold on. You're not sleepy, so you'll keep watch to make sure she gets up by sunrise. You tilt your head back and look up at the unfamiliar constellations. Your head feels full. It's intense and not exactly what you'd call happy, but you know you're feeling it with her, and that's far from nothing. Aww. Oh, poor Tizzy. Oh man. Okay, okay, it's like 6:19, so I gotta. Maybe I'll do one more, but my throat is so sore right now. Sure, a lot left. Saley, you know what? I'm gonna do one more just because I feel like it. I don't think anyone's here, so like, whatever. Ugh, sorry. I'm trying to take some more sips. I heard your name before. Trixie Roymer? I don't know if I should pronounce the X. Your point is, you need a wardrobe change. You should have asked Elward for one of her rad leather jackets. You could really make one of those work. Geez, this is kind of a crummy neighborhood. There you go again, making snap judgments. Get a little alien culture into you, and suddenly you're an expert. Looks like you found the Alternian nightlife. Well, technically, all life here is nightlife. If people are nocturnal, shouldn't nightclubs be called day clubs? Maybe the lure of dancing and getting smashed with strangers is not enough to get people to brave the blistering sun. You doubt you'd brave a stiff breeze for it. You aren't much of a partier. But recently, you are all about new experiences. You'll try anything once. A long line of people snakes along the side of the building. It doesn't appear to be moving. The club must not be open yet. You consider getting in line, but there are so many people here. You really are more of a one-on-one friendship type. You go around the back instead, to your old friend, the back alley and the dumpster. Distantly, you hear music. It comes on every few seconds and then drops off. Maybe a sound check. You hear something else. A musical sigh. Oh, okay. Oh, it was a sigh. A musical sigh comes from up ahead. You turn a corner to find a girl standing alone outside a back entrance. A heavy door is propped open with a chunk of concrete, like someone had gouged it out of the street. The girl has on a sweater dress and leg warmers, and a bronze sign splashed across her chest. You wonder if you should consider painting a sign onto your own clothes, just to make yourself seem more normal. Yeah, no, probably no point. You'd also need to paint yourself gray and find a pair of fake horns. Who would do something like that? Sounds like a huge pain with absolutely no benefits. The girl hasn't noticed you yet. She's staring at her feet and sighing. Also, she's making weird little whoops and clicking noises, or singing a few bars of wordless notes, starting low and then climbing up high. Wow, it sounds pretty good. The enclosed space between the alley walls makes it seem like it's coming from all directions. Maybe you should just leave. She looks busy, but then another troll sticks her head around the closed door, shooting the girl an unkind look and kicking the cement block doorstep away. Aw. Oh heck, there's really only one reason you would prop open a door. Grab the door before it can close, stand there like an asshole. What if the door is really heavy and smashes my finger? Let's see. Displaying the dexterity of someone far healthier and far less dressed in a slinky bathrobe, you clear out the door before it can slam closed. The bronze-blood girl's attention snaps up and she breaks off mid-note. She takes in the misplaced concrete and you holding the door. Oh, thanks for catching that. I would have had to go all the way around to the front. It must have been the wind. Just what sort of wind do they have around here that could pick up the chunk of rock the size of a turtle, unless wind is urban slang for some rude douchebag? She gives you a quick little smile and darts through the door, letting it close behind her with a solid click. Yep, locked. The brief gleaming flare of friendship you felt when she smiled at you in earnest thanks stutters and dies. You really had a moment there, but now she's inside and you're out here, where you will never reap the fruit of glorious friendship you planted with that act of kindness. Geez, what's the point of doing something nice if you don't get any credit for it? The sake of doing something nice? Alrighty then. to a disastrous car accident, you stand there and watch as the girl notices the door closing and lets out a squeak, jumping for the handle. She misses it and smacks her knee against the metal frame. Ouch! Damn it! She has a soft musical voice, even when she's swearing. You ask if she's okay. She stops rubbing at her knee and looks up at you. You're quite a bit taller than her, but she looks older than some of the other trolls you hung out with. Oh, no worries. Well, at least not about my leg. If you want something to worry about, I'm sure I can come up with some ideas without much trouble. You assure her that you've had plenty to worry about recently, though you appreciate the offer. She gives a fruitless tug on the back door. She knocks. Nobody comes. She knocks again. Still nothing. You tell her that someone kicked her doorstop out of the way. She looks disappointed, but not surprised. Oh well, I'll just have to go back around the front. Could be worse. Would you care to join me? Oh my god, you thought she never asked. This is working out perfectly. You're so glad she got walked out back here with you instead of the rest of the garbage. I'm Trixie Romer, though I'm sure you already know that. I don't think you're an idiot or anything. You know, meet and greets are usually after the show, but you seem nice. You aren't sure how she figures that, since all you've done is stand around. It's true, though, so you don't protest. You are nice, super nice. You might be the nicest son of a bitch on this whole dang planet. You ask her if she's performing here tonight. Of course, why else would I be warming up in a dirty back alley? You tell her you've seen people do far weirder things. She laughs. You aren't wrong. People around here will do anything for attention nowadays. For instance, you are walking around in an ablution robe. You cough delicately. True, very true. She's got you there. If you come inside with me, I can give you an autograph. I don't have anything to write with back here. Trixie seems to think that you're a fan who managed to get past security to accost her in person. She doesn't seem too upset though, more like delighted. You think back many friends ago to when Sarava told you it was dangerous for lowbloods to get popular. You wonder if Trixie trusts you because she thinks you're also a lowblood, or maybe she's just not that popular. You follow her back to the front of the club, past the line of trolls waiting to get inside. A guy whistles at her and she gives him a flirty little wave along with a flat smile, a customer service smile. She shows the bouncer something on her palm husk and he lifts up the velvet rope. There with me, they're my +1. Wow, you've never been anyone's +1 before. A bunch of people in line look annoyed, but Trixie ignores them. You follow her, tripping a little on the hem of your robe. Be careful, huh? You don't want to twist an ankle. Trixie speaks with a lilt, like a character in a musical getting ready to burst into song. You hope you aren't supposed to participate if she does. You're a little too busted for impromptu dance numbers, and also liable to flash someone in this robe. You hear music and chatter from down the hall, but Trixie pulls you in another direction, towards the dressing rooms. You pass several closed doors, stopping in front of one that seems to be in the process of being cleared out. A bunch of shit is spilling out into the hall, clothes trailing out of suitcases, a microphone cord seems to be slithering slowly among the detritus. Charming. God, can't do anything without someone messing me around, locking me out, and now this. Who did this? I'm seriously out for blood tonight. Looks like someone commandeered her dressing room while she was out, as well as tossed all her shit out into the hall. I have to deal with this. I'll be right back. You can borrow some clothes if you want. In fact, I insist. She leaves you in the cramped little room. It's dark in the hall, but everywhere in Alternia is kept darker than is comfortable for you. You're getting used to it, though. You imagine humans used to have to deal with this all the time back before electricity, provided they didn't die immediately of, dysentery. You flick on the outline of white bulbs around the mirror. Oh wow, even in the soft, flattering light, you look like an A-grade free-range disaster. Tagora's expensive rainbow drinker serum has rubbed off, and now you're mostly just dusty. You wade through a couple of Trixie's suitcases, but everything here is too small for you. There's a couple of sweater dresses and a hoodie that might fit, but without a pair of pants, that's gonna get real scandalous real fast. The only thing you find that works in the whole damn dressing room is a floaty purple dress hanging on the back of the door. Definitely not your style, you would never wear anything like this at home. But fuck it, roll with the punches, right? And not just in violence ways, fashion ways. You give a little experimental twirl in front of the mirror. You aren't gonna break any hearts, but you'll do. You actually kinda dig it. You are busy admiring yourself when Trixie comes back. She sniffles sharply and there are tear tracks on her face, but she isn't crying anymore. In fact, she looks mad as hell. Oh damn, is she mad at you? Did you manage to fuck up something without even being there? You've got mad fuck up skills. I got bummed. They kicked me off the lineup. I was supposed to be opening. But some new band came in and they have a Purple Blood drummer, so the club owner let them take my place. Of course. This is always how it goes. God, she looks so sad. Time to break out your finely tuned comforting muscles, but before you can get close guns out, someone oozes up to the two of you. Someone you recognize. No! Oh, incredible, Miss Roymer. What are the odds? It must be fate. Well, you chirped that you were coming to the show, so I guess the odds were pretty good. Zebra doesn't let this dim sparkle. He isn't the type of guy to let facts get in his way. He hasn't even noticed you. He's too busy kissing the back of Chixie's hand. Looking good, baby. I'm kind of a mess. I've been crying. Well, crying looks good on you. Zebra finally glances your way and does an extremely exaggerated double take. Wow, damn, I didn't even recognize you. You clean up really nice, you know. You haven't cleaned up at all, really. You haven't bathed since Tagora's fancy ablution trap. All you've done is put on a slinky dress. It's not like you aren't happy to see Zebra. You are. He's one of your many success stories. He's just, you know, the kind of friend you want to think back on fondly from time to time, remembering all the good times. Yeah, not necessarily the kind you want to hang out with, or have hang all over you like he is right now. Chixie looks at his arm around your shoulder and seems momentarily annoyed. Then her expression skips a couple tracks and hits back on neutral. So you met where? Online? In a forum? Can I join? Not in a forum, unless you're talking about the forum of life. He winks. Fate just keeps bringing us together, doesn't it? Just like you and me, Chixie baby. Chixie laughs. Now that she's gotten over her surprise, her entire demeanor has changed. Her body language has relaxed and she keeps biting her lip. She looks like an actor demonstrating bashful on command. Zebra is eating it up. It was really nice of you to post about my EP on your blog. I got lots of listens from that. Babe, have I ever told you that I think you're so strong? Seriously, low-blood girls are so strong. Chixie laughs again. It sounds painful. Maybe once or twice. I love your new stuff. That one song, Poisonous Moon or whatever. Bloody Sun? Right, yeah, exactly. Feel good stuff, sweetheart. I can't wait to hear more tonight. Oh, right, he doesn't know Chixie got bumped. Chixie meets your eyes. She seems to be trying to communicate something entirely using her eyebrows. Tell Zebra that Chixie isn't going to perform, or mind your own damn business. Maybe she's telling me not to say anything? You follow Chixie's lead and don't say anything. Zebra will find out pretty soon anyway when the show starts and Chixie doesn't get on stage. He takes off, saying he's going to get a spot in the pit. There's no pit here. Her earnest, polite look drops as soon as Zebra's out of sight. She's letting you see all the bits of herself that she has to hide from other people. You wonder if it's because you don't matter that much, or because she can sense your trustworthy nature. You're a natural optimist when it comes to friendship, so you decide to believe the latter. Come on, I want to get a good look at the jerks who took my stage from me, so I can talk about them on my bench shitter. You can follow if you want. I only like 4 people do. It's not like anybody cares about my problems anyway. You risk an encouraging pat between her shoulder blades. She sniffs and wipes her nose. At least I have you, my one non-creepy fan. At least I think you aren't creepy. I guess I don't know you that well. You assure her that you aren't creepy, at least not as creepy as that guy. Chixie starts to respond, but then breaks off. Her voice sticks in her throat like she swallowed a bug. Oh wait, they actually eat bugs here, like she swallowed a light bug. She swallowed a light bug. Actually, they might eat live bugs. Well, fuck, similarly cancelled. Anyway, Chixie stops talking, and you realize it's because she's listening instead. The first band is on, and going from Chixie's expression, this must be the band that scooped her. Can't believe it, I can't. She takes off. You aren't sure if you're supposed to follow, but she swoops back in and grabs your hand to drag you along behind her. You go past the club entrance and up a staircase, emerging at the tiny backstage area. Chixie stops just outside the stage lights. The band on stage is 4 trolls, mixed cast judging from their clothes. Although you suppose they don't have to wear clothes the color of their blood, though most trolls seem to. Law or tradition, both are dangerous to break. That's my song. They didn't just steal my set, they stole my set list. Her cheeks flush a ruddy brown and she shakes with rage. She begins singing along with them. Twist and pull, breathe the terror of life on hell. Spines and gore forevermore on this nightmare island spell. Eris above, blight below. Knocking on your hive's front door. Love me please, I abhor. It has kind of a twangy country feel to it, except it's about murder, or maybe love, you can't tell. It doesn't really fit the band on stage's vibe. It doesn't really fit Chixie's either, but then again you haven't seen her perform. Maybe she's really different when she gets in the spotlight. She's crying now, tears streaming down her face as she sings. It's all over. Nobody's gonna believe I wrote this music. Some little dirt blood country girl. You remember what Sir Robin told you about high bloods stealing their music and acting like they wrote it. God, that's so unfair. Should we encourage her to do something? Yeah. Trixie clenches her fist. Yeah. She reaches into a snarled mess of equipment and comes back with a microphone that only looks a little bit squirmy. Then she walks over to a costume rack and pulls down a mask. It's plain white, like the Phantom of the Opera's mask, jarringly stark against the gaudy, organic styles of most everything on Alternia. She waits for a dip in the volume of the song, and she gets one right after the bridge. Then she switches on the microphone and takes a huge breath. Shut the fuck up! The sound reverberates around the club. The sound of the crowd dips, then falls off almost entirely. The band staggers to a slow, rattling stop. Nobody seems to know what's going on. Oh, hell, this isn't what you want. You meant, like, egg their tour bus or trash them online. Oh, damn. Trixie steps into the light and a murmur goes up through the crowd. The band singer lowers her microphone. She's in the short blue dress with long, vicious claws painted red. You aren't up on all the trends, but you're pretty sure that red is edgy. Trixie covers her microphone and says something to the band. This Cerulean stares at her for a few seconds before letting out a cascading spray of laughter. Sure, honey, okay, condescending and sweet, like Trixie's a toddler who happened to wander on stage. She points finger guns at the guy on the soundboard. Razor, get the lady a beat. Oh God. You know what this is. You see Trixie's face framed by the lights, focused and intent, all simpering gone. You like that? I wrote it. You hit that? I own it. Coming in hot, trying to steal my spot. Oh Lord, is this a limerick? Just grab my bulge and deep throat it. A dirty limerick. Holy shit, she's just really doing this thing. A rap battle. Jesus. The Cerulean girl spits some stuff back. It's kind of basic, just generic insults about Trixie's blood color and her lyrics being stale. Considering she stole Trixie's song, that doesn't really fly. The crowd doesn't know that, though. They're eating it up. They probably think it's all part of the show, some fiery little lowblood coming on stage to shake things up. Paint your claws red, paint your mouth brown, acting like you know what it's like down here on the ground. The crowd whoops. This might be a high blood-owned club, but there's definitely a lot of low bloods in the crowd. But it's imitation. I got no expectation. This is your final station. You aren't gonna hit higher than this collaboration. You aren't like a rap expert or anything, but you can definitely tell that Trixie isn't either. She gets breathless toward the end of her lines and hits some words strangely, but the crowd is really feeling her. Definitely more than they're feeling the Cerulean. Trixie's voice picks up speed and power as she gains confidence, drawing energy off the crowd. You realize you're leaning forward too, making sure you catch every word. She goes through a whole list of the band's shortcomings, including their fashion sense, their talent level, and their interpersonal clusterfuck. They're apparently a pretty well-known group online. She throws in some stuff about them stealing her music, and the crowd oohs like this is a middle school cafeteria. So kill me, call the drones. It won't change a bit of what they all know. When you're a thief, what do you expect? I beat you all square. Hey, show some respect. Trixie drops the mic. The room erupts. Holy shit, that was awesome. She just came up with all that on the fly. The Cerulean looks furious, and another troll runs onto the stage to try to get the crowd under control. They're all chanting, mask, mask, mask. And Trixie runs back off stage, chucking both the mask and the microphone back where she found them. She grabs you and runs all the way back out to the alley where you met, letting the door close behind you. Guess you're done with that club. Trixie's eyes are round and shell-shocked. I just did that. Yeah, she really did. I just told a bunch of high bloods to eat my bulge. You don't know what a bulge is, but yep. Fuck, they liked me, didn't they? They were cheering for me. You say, yeah, you're pretty sure they were. Holy shit, I'm going to be cold. Did you hear all that stuff I said? You can't just say stuff like that. You remind her that she was wearing a mask when she did it. Oh, right, nobody will know who I am. I'm safe. Oh, but that means nobody will know it was me. You aren't quite following. I'm not going to get any credit at all. God, what is everything in my life have to be so metaphorically resonant? Oh, girl, you feel that. You definitely know what that's like. Hey, that was pretty dope. Both of you jump about a foot in the air. A low blood in a hoodie and a pair of sunglasses slouches against the brick beside the back door. Either you're seriously impaired today, or you're seriously good at sneaking. You got any stuff online? He asked Trixie. She gapes at him. But I was wearing a mask. How did you know? Well, you're standing right outside the door, and you're wearing the same clothes as you did on stage, so... Oh, right. Clever of you. Don't worry about it. Plausible deniability, right? Catch you later. He slinks off, one hand raised in a casual, cool guy farewell. See, you tell Trixie, some people will figure out who you are, probably just randos outside of clubs, but still, she can do this. She can make her dreams come true. You're totally right. I so can. I hope this isn't all lost, at least until another insurmountable obstacle comes along. Thanks for, well, everything. I would never have gone out there if not for you. She hesitates for a few seconds and goes in for a slightly damp hug. Sorry, stage lights and terror make me sweat. Aww. I love my sassy little dress. Oh, that's adorable. I haven't looked at these for a little bit. Yeah, you dealt with some relationship issues. You got owned and owned it. You handled your foe like a true artiste. You acquired a new palm husk. You offered your friend a much-needed nap. You listened to a very one-sided rap battle. This game is great. Okay, I gotta sign off for now. I don't think anyone's there, but if anyone is there, see y'all later. Bye-bye.